think we're live. Stream health is good. All right. Okay. Hey, we're live just in case.
All right.
Oh, hold on, man. Let me switch. I'm sorry. Hold on. I gotta switch my output to my headphones. My headphones not showing up. Give me a second. Oh, we might have a problem. Oh, there we go. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Good. It's going through my headphones. All right. Hey, what's going on? Hey, what's up, my friends, my family, my fellow gamers? You only friend these YouTube streets? Palworlds77, man. Thank you so much for rocking out with another episode of 60 Frames No Lag, which I think this is episode 271. I'm trying to keep track. I had, a while ago, a couple of months ago, sometime last year, I had to go through my channel and specifically look at which ones were actual 60 Frames No Lag episodes and not the ones that was just me going live. So I did 271 well, this will be 271 actual podcasts, because I didn't include all the ones I did by myself, because in Germany for like a good solid 2 years I was probably doing it by myself, only because it was just too difficult. The timing was off. It just so 60 Frames got put to a hiatus. Once in a while you guys came on when it's opportune, right? But other than that, but it's 271. Really happy for this, man. 2024 starting off great. I'm glad my boy Ruham saying that the mic is crispy. Absolutely. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? William Ortega saying he's been enjoying the channel. Thank you so much. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm putting more content out. I didn't, you guys just consume. You guys just eat. But I've been getting a lot of positive feedback that I'm addressing more topics more often, vice waiting the whole week and trying to do it on the podcast. So that's something I think, the community is really enjoying. So I'm like, you know what? I'll push out more videos, So it makes sense, right? Because by the time, the next Tuesday comes around, the topic may have, slowed down, or, people don't want to wait 4 or 5 years to, a whole week before I say my opinion, But so I think people have been enjoying it. So I'm going to keep putting more videos and stuff like that. Some people ask me this question, and I'm going to say this again. People ask me, because I just have that one member tier, right? And it's only $3.99. And I said before, I only put it up there because it was a request by, many supporters that sometimes they can't make it to the podcast, because some people show up to the podcast and they just drop a super chat, don't make a comment, whatever. We got, and I really appreciate you guys. But sometimes they can't make it. They want something that's a little bit easier, more accessible. So I just did that for them. Now, people ask me, will I grow the membership? Will I add members perks in terms of exclusive content? So for now, right? No, not even for now. I'm going to say this. There will never be a members video. That's not happening. I already said that a long time ago. I say that every year. There will not be ever a members only video or members only live where it's locked out for members only. That's not happening. That's not something I will that's just defeats the purpose of my channel. I'm not going to have specific content. What I mean by content is videos or live that only talks to the members, which means people will not have to subscribe to access my conversation. Like literally the whole point of the channel for me is to talk as much people as possible. So I'm not doing that at all. Whether it's a video, there's no and there's no delay either. I'm not doing a video, and because I asked this question too, because I brought that up and I replied, and the person back, well, what about members advance? Like you do the video for us and we get like a day or two, and then you release it to public. I'm like, no, my shit is my thing is day and date, because I don't want it, because this is how I see it. Why would I limit a viewpoint or a conversation to a specific group simply because they pay money? When what I really want, when I say something, is for everybody to see it. That's what I really want. That's ultimately what you want, right? So I understand the monetizations, and I truly appreciate you guys' support. You know what I'm saying? And I did, like, any little thing, I put it towards the channel. I put it towards this laptop that I bought, whatever. As you can see, I'm doing a little bit better job of editing videos. So really, the money I get is really for, you know, just improving the stuff and stuff like that, right? I'm not, you know, well, you guys know I'm a Marine or whatever. I can't put myself in a position where content creating becomes a big job. I'm not at that point in my life, right? Maybe 3-4 years from now, when I'm retired from the Marine Corps, maybe I could put more effort. Maybe I could really be more serious about content creating to where it's maybe a career decision. But I'm old school. I'm a Gen Xer. You know, I like to just work with a company and earn a paycheck. I'm old school like that, right? Not saying that content creation, salaries, whatever. But right now, I can't do that. Because right now, my priority is my job. And at any moment, my job could be like, hey, pack your shit, you gotta go. And it's not like I could, you know, so I can't start a whole business on this where I do merch. You know, I have Patreons. I have various tier levels. People are paying $20, $30. And then one day I'm just gone. And everybody's like, yo, bro, I'm paying you $50. Where's my shit? No answer. No, I can't talk to you. I can't do that, right? And I always had that in my mind. Yeah, I always had that in my mind that, you know, it would, like, what are the chances that I start, this big venture, monetizations, merch, Patreon, and the Marine Corps goes, pack your shit, Puerto Rock. You're going on the road, and you won't be back for 7 months. Yeah. I can't do nothing for you guys. You're gonna feel like I ripped you guys off, and that's just. So that right there is something that I just completely whatever. I just ultimately, my goal is just seeing just how many people interact, how many people chat, how many people talk, the good and the bad, right? Because talking is talking, as long as it's respectful, I block the ones that are disrespectful, teetering on disrespecting people, cultures, races. That's not cool. That has nothing to do with gaming. Talk shit about PlayStation all you want. Hell, we got Aaron. I don't know if he's here now, but we've seen some Xbox fanboys. We got Georgie here. He here weekly bashing PlayStation. Ain't that right, Georgie? I know you here, Georgie. Georgie, where's Georgie at? Georgie's one of my first guys here. There you go. George, birthday, you out with me? Birthright? Yo, George, I'm sorry. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. But it's the big green G. All right? Georgie, look at that. He's always saying selling faster than Spider-Man. See, he always talking shit on this channel. Always. He talks shit. And so. He talks he talks shit on the comment section. Him and Aaron. The biggest Xbox shit talkers that we got on this channel. But guess what? He's free to do that. Because he doesn't actually attack people. He doesn't do none of nasty shit. So talk your shit, Georgie. Talk your shit. Hey there, Georgie. I sound like It the Clown, right? Hey there, Georgie. All right, anyway, but it's stuff like that, right? But anyway, so that I just want to address that publicly to everybody because I know there's people new to the channel. For those who just subscribed recently and stuff like that and just started watching my content, you ain't got to worry about ever having to pay to see videos or live, okay? That doesn't whatever. So then the question goes, okay, so then if you're going to grow the membership, what would you do? I don't have an answer because I have no plans to grow the membership. I have no plans to do higher tiers. Again, the only reason why I activated membership specifically was just for that. To support the people that wants to support. And I just don't want to nickel and dime them. So I just picked a low $3.99 cost. And that's it. But you don't have to do that. Just to me, what I would like more than anything else is if you are able to show up to the podcast. Get in the chat. Check out my video. Hit a like button. Leave a comment. Talk about it, right? Have a conversation. Ask me questions. That's it. That's it. If you do that, that's all I ask for, right? Don't worry about, content creation, I need money. Like, don't worry, I got money. I'm good. Don't worry about it. I'm not the richest man in the world, but I own a house in North Carolina, and I'm paying for an apartment here. I'm paying for a mortgage and an apartment at the same time. Believe me, I'm good. I'm good. My wife has her own car. I have my own car. We're good. I'm perfectly fine. Gonna retire in 2 years. Gonna buy another house in Florida. Listen, I don't need, I'm not here that's gonna fish farm, money from anybody. What I appreciate is just your time, Hit the like button, right? And the reason why I want to hit the like button and whatever is so I could get more people onto the channel, so I can enjoy more conversations. And that's really it. That's really the only thing I ask for. Like, subscribe.
Yeah, like, share, subscribe.
That's it. Show up to the podcast. Hit up the comments. We're going to chat it up. We're going to talk about it. And that's it. That's it. That's the only thing I'm ever going to ask for from anybody. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to have some fun and stuff like that, right? Let's see who else is here. So it's just you. Extreme was going to hop on. So Craig is super low. Now let me ask you this. Let me see. Damn, because he's blowing up my eardrums. Anybody else find them super low? Can I get a confirmation? Yeah, can I get... Yeah. So don't do nothing, Craig, yet. Anybody else? Is Leech right? He is low. Two Man says he is low. I can't hear him? All right, hold on.
Really? Wow.
Well, because he's blowing... Hold on. Let me see if it's the Discord. Give me a second. Let me see the audio. Damn, everything is like maxed out. Let's see.
Let me check Discord on my side.
Yeah, can you check your input output on your Discord to see, make sure your voice is out?
All right, now the output.
The output is it all the way out?
How's that? Is that better?
Crank that shit. Crank that shit up.
Okay, output is now at 200%.
Crank that shit up. Blow their eardrums out.
Hear it?
Talk to them like a Puerto Rican. Blow their eardrums out.
Yeah, now
Let's see.
I can hear everything. Yeah, that is loud.
He says still low.
It's still low? No, I'm right next to the mic.
Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. All right, let me see if it's this feature. I gotta move this out. All right. Now start talking for a bit. Craig.
Yeah.
Yeah, start talking for a little bit.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, hopefully y'all can hear.
all
I
right.
got the speakers all the way up. Output, well, at about 150%.
It's the stream audio? Oh, it's the stream audio? Okay, hold on. So, the thing is, though... Interesting. That is very interesting. Let me see something. He had some echo. Now he has an echo. Oh man, this thing is, man, Windows is dog shit. Now you got an echo. I don't even hear an echo.
You still there now? All right, I'm turning it down to 100. I did hear an echo.
Did you?
But I was up. I heard it. But now I think it was way too high. So, but I'm looking at the automatic at the settings, and the settings are the same. And the camera's turned off.
Hold on. Make sure. I think my stream. Let me make sure. Output. Let's see. Audio. Okay, yeah, that's still good. The audio's still good. I mean, man. This is like the annoyance of PC, right? like literally, like your settings could be the same. And open volume. Let me see my output device.
Yeah, because we can hear each other fine.
Okay. I know we could, yeah. All I apologize, guys. But PC is the best platform. Craig, Mike, or your mic are picking up Craig's audio. I agree, Peter. Yo, what's good? Yo, you got that Game Pass? Windows 11, Portugal. He's good. All right, is he better now?
Yeah, hopefully it's better now.
Is he better now? Because there was one adjustment I did, but I didn't see how it corresponds to him. But
yeah, I can hear you 5x5.
Okay, yeah. That's what makes it hard because us two, we hear each other.
Yeah.
With clarity, like actual crystal clarity, and
sounds good.
Let me see something. He's quiet again. Hold on. Let me do one more thing. I really don't know. This is blowing my mind right now. Let me see. Let me hear something right now. Let me go on my phone.
Oh, I'm still here.
Oh yeah, I heard the ad, so I'm looking on my phone. I do hear the echo. That's weird.
Yeah, hopefully it's better now.
Is he better now? Because there was one adjustment I did, but
I don't see how.
No, so maybe so for me, yeah. So I wait, good there. They're saying he sounds low, but it ain't impossible to hear him. It's just really weird because I do hear him because you do sound like you're in the background while I sound up front. Like I'm in the front of the audience and you're like behind me. It feels like we're not in the same position. It's weird because I'm listening on the phone now. Right? Did I describe it? Like right now, like I heard myself and it's like it's true. It's crispy. Yo, I gotta admit though, I'm something mad crispy though. You know what I'm saying? My shit. My shit. I can't tell. I can't tell. Okay. But my shit was crispy though. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? My shit was crispy. Yo, but listen. You know what? I am the headliner. They're in the back. They're my backup singers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're the Pips, man.
You know what I'm saying? What, Smokey Robinson and the Pips?
Yeah.
That's me. I'm Smokey Robinson. You're gonna hear me in the front. You know what I'm saying? This ain't Wu-Tang Clan where everybody got a mic. Nah, y'all punks better get back there. This show's the story. It's Michael. It's Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5s. And alright, you came to hear me.
Well, I have 4 output settings. I have the default setting. I've got the real tech digital output. I've got
I don't know.
Dell, and then the regular real tech high definition audio speakers.
I don't know. Yeah, and default. I don't. Okay, but they're saying you're better now. But anyway.
I put it back on default.
Okay. I think Gladys Knight's in the. Oh, it's Gladys Knight in the Pips. Oh no, wait a minute. Nah. Okay, never mind. I thought Smokey wrote. Never mind, bro. I ain't Gladys Knight. No. Never mind. Ooh, that backfired. Gladys Knight the Pips. Never mind. Never mind. Heavy D and the boys. That's me. I'm Heavy D. Craig and them is the boys. Heavy D. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here now that we found love. What are we gonna do? That's how it is, right? But anyway, where the hell's Extreme, that Australian from down under? Did he have a fight like a 10-foot tarantula? I don't know. Like every day, he's just in. Oh, okay, there we go. Because my man's always trying to survive. Every day's a fight in the down under. I'm telling you, the last standing nation in this world is gonna be Australia, because they're used to it. That's just like another day for them. You know what I'm saying? If we get invaded by like alien insects, to them it's been like, ooh, more food. I wonder if he's set up. I wonder if he heard me talking shit. You know what I'm saying? To them, that's just more opportunity to eat.
Yeah, that's
like, ooh, I can't do it. All right.
Did he hop off now?
Okay. Oh, he hopped off. He's having technical issues. Anyway, we'll start with this, man. Craig, what you been up to, my brother?
Just working, watching some football. Just beat Modern Warfare 2 again, so now it's off to Modern Warfare 3, since that's the PlayStation Slim bundle or whatever they're calling it. But yeah, PlayStation Slim bundle I have. So I'll be starting on that tomorrow, hopefully. And that's it. I have not been on the Xbox here lately. Gonna get back on that probably Friday. I don't think I have anything to do Friday when I get home.
So you said you're playing Modern Warfare?
Yeah, just replaying all 3. So I just finished. Yeah, I literally just took the last shot there and got the. So I'm ready to go to that the DLC, Modern Warfare DLC.
Okay. So in other words, you calling in the B-52, huh?
I am calling the B1. B2,
okay. I see how it is. I see the hypocrisy. Now we want to call in. Now we calling in the B-52s. Okay. All right.
And
Noted.
Last of Us Part 2.
No, but okay.
In 4K. Yeah.
Okay, in 4K.
I know we're gonna talk about that, so.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about that. All right, that's good. All right. Anything else? Anything crazy? How's your podcast going?
Oh, okay. We're closing in on 2100.
Woo!
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, hopefully by March.
What do you call it? Is it still called the Porch Light Podcast? You have like 50 names.
Yeah,
you should.
I do different things on there. Like I'm doing Thunder Thursday, so we're going to be talking about.
What the hell is Thunder Thursday?
I just talk a little bit about everything.
Chocolate Thunder Thursdays. That's what we doing here. What you doing chocolate? We're doing Chocolate Thunder Thursday. No, because that's your character. We're doing Chocolate Thunder Thursdays. That's it. The Chocolate Thunder Thursdays. Oh man, Paul stole them out.
Well, I think this Thursday we're talking about the brick lady who just turned herself in. I think that'll be a topic, and I'll pick a random topic.
Oh my man.
They usually pick the topics in the chat, and we'll just kind of talk about it for like 45 minutes to an hour. And
man, this guy.
Break from maybe some sports as well. I'll do some picks.
This guy wants. Shit, it sounds like you want to violate some people on Thursdays, and then you having them volunteer. Oh no! Well, watch it, people. Chocolate Thunder's on the prowl. And he's doing double life. By golly. Oh snap! Oh man, this is hey, Extreme said he'll be here in a few more minutes and stuff like that. I guess he's having technical difficulties on his $10,000 audio system and stuff like that. But everything, I've been chilling and stuff like that. What I done? Oh, I finally beat Hogwarts after 98 hours. Finally beat it, man. I know everybody's like, Craig is like, no, so he's back to 2? So, Craig, what was your setting before the default setting? Because I think the setting you had before the default setting is what worked.
Okay.
What did you have it? What did you... Yeah. Go from default to... What was it? What did you do? Because I think your default setting's dog shit.
All right, how about now? That's the Real Tech High Definition Audio.
Okay. All right. So how about now? We got Real Tech.
That's what it's
you
called.
Right now. Right now he's doing full RDMA 2 now. See? Better. Look at that. You found the 52 CUs.
Indeed, I did. Yeah.
Oh shit! What's going on, Extreme?
Hey, how you guys doing? What are you
guys talking about? How are you doing?
Having technical difficulties.
Uh-huh.
I was, man. We
yeah.
A piece of trash.
Man, I'm telling you, like, and to think they made a gaming console out of this shitty operating system, unbelievable.
Jesus Christ.
Oh shit! It's Extreme is low too.
Oh no! Hold on. Let me.
Well, you do sound weird. You do sound like you're like in the back.
I sound like I'm in the back. What?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like you're in the back, like in the background.
Yeah, where the pit?
My mic is right here. Right here.
No. Heavy D and the boys. Because I am not Gladys Knight. We Heavy D and the boys. I need to. Let me see.
Now because you guys got it here.
All right. How about? Let me see. Let me ask these guys. Okay. How about now, guys? So start talking. Just start talking. Let me see the chat.
What you guys been up to? Like, it's been like what, 20, 30 minutes on the podcast. Have we been
Yeah.
close to
Yeah.
almost half an hour?
Okay.
Oh
Is
yeah,
it?
you guys been waiting for you.
So they sound better?
Okay. Here's the thing. I feel like it's you who sounds high.
I
You level yourself down.
no, but I don't know. Like, what am I like? Like, dude, their sound is real low. Like, but they're saying you guys sound low. Like, all my stuff still blowing out the mic. Sounds worse.
Did you turn me up on your thing? Because I told you not to do that, and then I used it for.
What? Like on the Discord?
Yeah. Did you?
No. The user, your users is the same as last week. You're like halfway, 100%. I just have you at 100%. I have you at 100%. They said we can't even hear them now. How's that even possible? I didn't shut anything down. Headphone.
This is what happens when you have Windows. We all need to get a mic onto a Macintosh.
I'm about to. This is dog shit.
Your Clangstar, how you come up like that? He says that we're in a fish tank in the other room. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we sound fine. I mean, you're crispy. We're all. It's something. It must be something going on either with the Discord or Windows. So, but I say we kick it off and they turn up their sound.
I would have.
Turn the sound. If they turn their sound up and then Portal just speaks over us, then he's just going to
Blow their ears on. Well, you know what? That's probably that. This part. I know what. I hold on. I could lower my speaker input if that makes it better.
Yeah. At least help them.
Let me see.
Figure things out.
How's that better? I lowered my stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can tell you're lowering my.
Yeah, you're lower than the Discord too.
So I lowered my stuff. Because maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just overpowering with my presence.
There you go.
Better now? Now we're all stable? And now you can raise up the volume? So it was me. It was just my manliness.
There you go.
I was just too much of a man. America! Fuck
You
yeah!
guys,
America! Fuck yeah! It's the Puerto Rican in me. That's what it is.
there we go. People are happy now.
So that's what it was. It was me all along. Like, there was no way you could. There's no amplifier in the world you guys could use to keep up with me.
We were doing everything on our end. We were just trying to catch up.
Today, yeah, that's it. Okay, but hey, so there you go. There we go. So there you go. I just attenuated myself, and there we go. So we did. Yeah. Thank you. All right. All right. Now, you guys. Now, all three of us, really hard to hear. Can you raise your volume, though? Because I lowered myself so you can raise your volume and you don't have me blow your eardrums out. Unless you guys are max. Hey, Mav C, you have max volume now?
Got better speakers. So
oh, shit.
Volume,
oh, so
just,
he said. He said everyone's too low. Oh, shit.
And listen, you guys in the consensus. Client side is telling us we're good. Some people are saying we're too low. Other people are saying it's good now. I say we go for what Craig said. We just pretend that everything's fine.
Right.
Yeah, we build it as we fly. Yeah.
All right. This is nice. It's actually good. All right. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna keep it going. We're gonna. All right. We got Craig. But we're gonna do extreme, man. What you been up to, brother?
Hey, listen. I've actually been playing like a series of like smaller titles. They're not really smaller, but they're like 40 hours each, which is smaller than the 100 plus hours I put into Forbidden West. So I've got some recommendations for you. There's Omno, OMNO. That's like a 4-hour game. beautiful. It's in the vibe of Journey and everything like that. There's the Gardens Between, which is a similar length. Australian developer, I'm pretty sure, because I see a lot of like Australian iconography. And again, these are like great, just relax, chill podcast games. So that's the Gardens Between. And then finally, Nobody Saves the World, which is not a relaxing game, but it is a fun game, and that's about 40 hours or so. And that one is on PlayStation Plus this month, so you probably have access to it. There you go.
Okay. Oh, all right. Okay, I'm glad you're doing that.
Yeah, just decided to take a little diversion from the big main path, the mainstream path of gaming and everything. The Last of Us Part 2 came out. I've refused to play it so far because I just don't want to get sucked into it. Like I know as soon as I start it, it's going to be another freaking 50 hours plus, especially that no return mode, maybe longer. So
yeah.
I'm doing my best to just stick to my ground and just kind of knock out some of these guys because I want to experience other things.
Okay. All right. So wait. So you're not playing Grounded? I mean, you're not playing The Last of Us?
No, no, I've decided not to play it right now because I am doing my best to just not get sucked into it. You know The Last of Us. Once you get pulled into it, you can't stop. Like I can't stop. I'm not one of
Yeah.
those people that can like read multiple books at once or play multiple games at once, especially if they are single player games. So yeah, I'm trying to just stay away from it. But it's tempting.
Okay. All right. Good to go.
Yeah.
Oh wait. All right.
Hey, I
let me-
appreciate the chat. The Gardens Between. The people that played it, it's amazing. Really great. And I think that one is also available on PlayStation Plus Extra. So y'all go check it out. It's amazing. Great for like if you're listening to a podcast, there's not a single word spoken in the entire game. So you can listen to your favorite podcasters and everything and play the game.
Okay. Hold on. Let me look at something. All right. All right. Let me do one last thing. Okay. So we're gonna get into the topics. I did one change for the audience. What's going on here? To the audience, let me know if this improved the experience for you guys. Hey guys, just say something.
Okay.
Well,
this is me saying something.
Okay, there you go. See? Hey, Craig, say something. You say something.
Yo.
You see, Australians, they know how to follow directions. This is me saying something. But I say you say something, you just want to do what the hell you want. Goddamn disrespectful Americans, bro. Shout out to Liquidator, man. Shout out to Liquidator. 19 months. Happy New Year, P-Rock and Panway. Happy New to you, brother.
Hey.
Wishing you many blessings. So I'm hoping everything's a little bit, sounds very crispy, and everything sounds a little bit better for the audience. But we're going to start with the first topic, and I got it on the screen for everybody. Hopefully, people can see it. But pretty much, it's, let me see if I can zoom in for you guys, for those in the audience. I know, it might be a little bit challenging, but right there. Okay. All right, that'll work. No, get back. There you go. Says right there. So Matt Piscatella, this is a individual tweet. A tweet came out, and he said, subscription growth has flattened, and sub-services on console and PC platforms accounts for only 10% of the total video game content spending in the US. I get that some people want to protect their preferred model, but the idea that subs will become dominant is unsupported by data. Now, I tried to reach out to him. I didn't get an answer because it's hard to say if he's talking about the gaming industry in total, meaning all of it, then technically it's not just Game Pass, PlayStation Network, Nintendo, what else is out there? EA Play, Ubisoft, all that stuff, right? The common ones that we would probably identify with in this community. But it may also include Apple, because they have, what's that shit called? Fuck. Their Game Time or whatever subscription. Mm-hmm. God damn it, help me out here, chat. Yeah, Apple has a subscription plan. Apple Arcade. Woo, man, my man. Woo, yo, E4 came in with the clutch. You know, with the goal. Goal. You know what I'm saying? You know, the ball hit my head. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? He kicked it in. Goal! Now he's running around with his shirt off, with his flapping titties all over. So Apple Arcade. If it's all of that, like gaming in general, right? And not just the gaming we're worried about, but gaming in general, like, this is nothing. Like, what exactly have we been actually talking about over the last 3-4 years in the subscription stuff, right? I've seen news articles, right, from, you know, video game journalists, podcasters, IGN, so many people talking about how, you know, this is the new future, this is what's going to grow. You probably guys heard it, comparing Sony to Blockbuster, to Netflix, which, oh my God, it's unbelievable how that, I'm not even going to get into that. But now that we officially got data, it's only 10%, and that's everybody. That's including what PlayStation's trying to do, what Nintendo's trying to do, EA Play, Ubisoft, maybe even Apple Arcade. You know, I didn't get an official answer, right? Right? So imagine how small of a slice Game Pass is. If the entire industry, and this is for US, but US is a huge market, right? If the entire market in the US, right, and every subscription equates to just 10% of the entire gaming industry, then how small of a slice is Game Pass in the scheme of things? And is it even worth the conversation to talk about how gaming should be in the future, right? I'm going to kick off with Craig. Craig, let me know what you think. Subscription growth has flattened across all devices. Now, he did say sub-services on console and PC platforms, so I'm going to assume Apple Arcade does not count because that's primarily mobile. So let's remove Apple from this equation. So now we're talking the PC console-centric services, which is PSN Plus, so that's included. Game Pass, Nintendo's subscription service, EA Play, Ubisoft. And if anybody in the chat can name other stuff, please mention it inside the chat. I would like to know what's else out there. But what do you think about this this piece of information and data?
It didn't surprise me, you know, and why people think that model is the future was beyond me. It's just the numbers are not there. Now, I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact that people thought, because everybody's doing it. EA, like you said, EA, Ubisoft, they're all doing something like that. And there's talk that Warner Brothers games could enact something this year, 2024. So, but it's just getting to a point where I'm glad that the numbers came out. I'm glad we could put it to bed that is the future, because it's not. And doesn't mean there's not room for it. It doesn't mean all they need to do is quit doing it. They do need to improve the services. I mean, but I think they're trying. But if it's only going to make up 10 to 12% or 8 to 12%, then yeah, I can see why you know, there's people are hesitant to go all in on it, because there's just a whole lot of subscription services, you know. So yeah, that's my thought on it. I don't have anything against it. I have both Game Pass and the PS Plus, so they're both fine. They both work fine. But yeah, I think there's a place for it. It's just, again, not this big juggernaut that people keep saying it's going to be. It's just not. It is what it is.
Okay. Hey, Extreme, how about you?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The only reason that we talk about Game Pass and subscription services the way that we do is to appeal to the insecurity of a particular fan base. That's the only reason. We're not going to pretend otherwise. They are the only ones with a company that has told them that this is the future, despite all of the data to prove otherwise. So we go along and they change the conversation. You see the way that we talk now about console sales. You know, where now people are talking from a, oh, your little plastic box. Oh, your little plastic box. Oh my God, your little plastic box. First of all, these things are marvels of engineering, okay? It's not Nintendo cardboard, okay? Second of all, it costs everybody a lot of money. So yes, you have the right to be invested. Third, we know that as a product sells, it allows the ecosystem around it to thrive. But Microsoft, unable to sell their product, has converted their fan base to believe that something is going to come along and basically save them from having to be good in the one area where they should really be good at. Like, there really isn't a way for you to be a leader in console gaming if you're not actually a leader in the console part of that equation. So that there is the one thing that we have. How am I lower than? Okay, hold on. Let me just adjust this mic on the fly. Like Craig said, we are going to build it as we go.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
people, I've turned myself up, so that should make it a little bit better. Yeah. So as I was saying before, this is the only reason why we are currently talking about subscription services in this way. And this is not to say, like just like Craig said, it's not that they don't have a place, but it is that they do not have this inflated, this is the future kind of like penchant that these people want to put on it. Like, as the people put it over there, you guys are putting extra sauce on it. Like, it's okay. It can be a part of the future, and it can even be a part of a long-term plan, like 20 years down the line. That is going to revolutionize, you know, how we basically interact with things. Like, people point out to Spotify and Netflix and all of these other subscription services in other industries and in other medium that have now become the de facto way of interacting with the media. And yet, those things took ages. Like, it's not like they just came out and then they were just instantly moved in that direction. And what we are seeing is that our particular industry is resistant to that. And there are good reasons for it. Everybody is basically acting like, oh, as soon as you know about Game Pass, like if you truly understood Game Pass, like if you really got it, then you would have to have it. And as I've always said, it's like, no, we get it. We fully understand what Game Pass is. We know it inside and out. When you say to someone that Game Pass is a Netflix of gaming, they understand immediately everything that they need to understand. And yet, many of them still choose not to interact with it because of other good reasons. And part of that is that it doesn't have the games that would compel someone to change, you know, their mentality around how they acquire games. A part of that is the fact that subscription services and gaming are not as immediately, I don't know, a no-brainer as they might be for other things. And another medium that is the exact same thing in terms of subscription services is books. Like, books continue to sell extremely well in terms of just selling copies, whether those are digitally copies with e-readers or just buy a copy, whether that's a paperback or a hardback from an actual bookstore and you get a physical item, you know. And again, I just feel like subscription services lend themselves to media that is smaller in nature in terms of how long it takes for you to consume. You know, whether that's a movie that will take 2 or 3 hours or a song that will take 2 or 3 minutes. Whereas books and video games, which is media where you're going to be invested for 80, 100, 200 hours plus, subscription services have traditionally shown that they are not necessarily leading the pack. It shouldn't be that hard to have that conversation.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay. So I think this whole conversation was because everybody just assumed how movies and music, pretty much streaming kind of dominated those formats to a certain extent, right? And people thought it happened in gaming. But in my opinion, like streaming movies, when you look at it just from the perspective of how you consume movies and TV shows or music, it hasn't really changed because movies and music has always been a form of entertainment that got pushed towards you. It's just how it got pushed toward you changed over time. For example, back in the 80s, 70s, 60s, whatever, how was movies and music pushed to the consumer? It was through free radio. You had a radio, you listened to your radio station, or you had a TV, and they have public access TVs, right? Now, you couldn't control what you listened or what you watched when you watched. You had to have the TV guide. You had to know when your show was on. Everybody lived at that. Everybody lived like that, right? But ultimately, it was movies and music being pushed to you all the time. Then came cable TV, right? And with cable TV, it was the same philosophy. Now you have more options, more channels, and no commercials. But it was just a flood of movies and TV shows being pushed to you, right? Then they said, you know what? We're going to take a step further and create these specialized high premium TV outlets. So you had HBO and Cinemax and Showtime, where now they showed you movies all the time. High premium movies all the time. Like, you didn't have to wait. And if you remember, I don't know how old you guys are, but you remember growing up, like the movie of the week, you had to wait until Friday to watch that big movie. Or on Thursday, you know, a certain time and date to watch big movies. Now with HBO, they took that away when HBO first got introduced. So now you see all these big movies all the time. And then remember when they started HBO on demand, Showtime on demand. Now they took it a step further and said, hey, now you don't have to schedule your life around. We'll give you select movies, and all you got to do is just, you know, go through the list and play for it. And then the next evolution was Netflix. Netflix says, hey, you ain't got to subscribe to these all big expensive channel, you know, cable channels, and then pay for Showtime, pay for, you know, Cinemax, pay for HBO, pay for all this stuff. You could get everything here, you know, through our subscription service, and it could just get fed to you. So in my opinion, videos and music getting fed to you directly, it's not a new concept. It just changed how we did it. But gaming wasn't really like that. You know, gaming has always been a consumer is very particular for the most part on what game they want to play and where they want to play it or who has it to play, right? So you were very particular to like, ooh, man, I love Mario or, you know, or Zelda and stuff. So you will go Nintendo and you will buy those games. Or you were particular with, man, I love Sonic, you know, Shinobi, Altered Beast, so you're particular. So I think video gamers, we will always been particular about buying games. Sure, did they have rental services? Absolutely, right? But people still want to pick the game that they want to play and put the time in on what they choose, right? Now enters the subscription service where you flood all this stuff in there, right? And a lot of people are like, okay, I see all these games, but then the game that they do want to play is not in the service, like Hogwarts Legacy and all that stuff. So people still are going after the very nature of the gaming is they're going to go after the game they want to play and not change their appetite simply because there's a subservice. So the subservice is not going to dictate what they really want to play when they want to play it. You can say the subservice is additive, right? But it's not going to change people's mind. Now, do I understand the concept of, well, there's a lot of people that can't afford games, and this is the first time they actually have access to games they never got access before due to financial limitations. I completely understand that point. But I'm sorry to say, poor people don't set the standard. That's the deferred. Good for them, good, you know, and I'm not making fun of poor people. I grew up poor. But you can't say the poor gets to dictate the terms of the industry. The industry, the gaming industry is bigger than movies, music, and American sports combined. Poor people don't influence that. It's the people who are willing to spend the money to do that, right? So sure, Game Pass caters, you know, is a good advantage for people who wants to play a lot of games, but they're not in the position to get access to a lot of games, right? So you got 400 games, you play what you ever play there, right? But that's not going to be the standard for everybody or even the majority. You look at PC, I think PC is the perfect case for that, right? PC is the best of both worlds, right? And what I mean by that in this situation is you have Game Pass. So you have the ability to make that your preferred way of playing games. Yet PC gamers still opt for Steam. They still buy their games. They absolutely have the choice. So you can't call them fanboys like PlayStation. Oh, PlayStation, you're only saying that because you don't got day and date. But if you had day and date, you would, you know. No, Steam has day and date. They have day and date games. They got PC Game Pass, and arguably you could say they get more stuff on PC because they have PC exclusive on Game Pass. Yet more often than not, they will buy their games on Steam as their preferred method to playing games, right? Is there people who subscribe to Game Pass taking advantage of it? Sure. But did it change the way they want to play? Absolutely not. You know? So at best, this is just additive to the market, but that's all it's ever going to be, right? And how it's dictated, everybody's different. Sony's going at their subscription service completely different.
Yeah.
They don't believe in day and date because to them, you lose money on that. They even talk, well, the leaks showed that even putting the game a year out, aka Forbidden West, they lost money from the residual of sales that you would normally get after your first year. So they felt it actually hurt the brand putting it 1 year, and this is 1 year into, you know, the service, just 1 year. So we're probably not going to see that again. We're not going to see their big IPs going to the service 1 year out. It's probably going to be at least 2 years now. So Spider-Man 2, don't expect that to go on PSN Extra or Premium anytime soon. 2 years, right? Now, does that stop from indie games? Because I always felt if there's any games that probably would take advantage of day one subscription service, Foam Stars is like the perfect example. Perfect example.
Stray did it.
Yeah.
Stray did it. They went day
Stray.
to day, you know.
Stray, yeah. Those are perfect examples, I think, where Game Pass or PSN Extra and Plus whatever can help a game because a lot of people won't buy it, right? It doesn't get the marketing for people to even notice, right? And if we want up and coming developers, small studios to grow and make a name for themselves, they either have to create that one-off game that just somehow catches fire, and we're going to talk about Palworlds, right, in a few, or you have to feed it to the consumer says, hey, check this game out at no additional cost to at least have a person notice the game, right? So I will say a game maybe like Foam Stars might benefit from that. Stray, certain games of that class level might benefit from subscription service because most people won't even notice because they won't get the advertisement to notice. And even if they saw it like on a Twitter or YouTube, a trailer, they're probably still not interested in it, right? But a subscription service, they'll be like, all right, let me try this out. And if they like it, then they can appreciate like, oh man, this game was really good. Who made this? Do they have more games? Are they going to make more? It could spark long-term interest. So I can see the value in a subscription service from that, right? I also see the value in subscription service from games that already passed their shelf life. And what I mean by that, they've been out 2-3 years. You're not selling the game anymore. After 3 years, ain't nobody going to buy the game. It's already past the shelf life. Very hardly anyone, unless for the most part, right? There are a few gems that has long-term sustainment, but for the most part, let's say like Returnal. Returnal's a perfect example. Put that motherfucker on PSN Extra. It's not gonna blow up anymore, right? After you released it on PC, it's a done deal. It's just gonna collect dust. No one's gonna hear of it. People in 2026 is not even going to talk about Returnal. But if you put it on the service, people who bought a console, PlayStation 5 console this year or this past month, and they subscribe to it, well, guess what? You could play Returnal because chances are you wouldn't have because nobody will tell you about it. It's like been long gone. What were you going to say, Extreme?
Yeah, I just wanted to return just a moment when we were talking about games that are well suited to the subscription environment. Because we talked about, Stray, you've got Rocket League, you've got some of the successes that have come out from, something like a PlayStation Plus. Yeah. I just want to say that we have to be careful, that these games already had an appeal. Like, we've just got to say, like, soccer with rocket-powered cars, that's already a fun idea. Fall Guys, that had already had a buzz, right? Yes. When you look at Stray, cat lovers, oh my god, is there anybody more obsessed with cats than cat lovers? Like, these people will come out the woodwork, so that already had its own appeal. And so what I'm trying to say is that subscription services cannot make something out of nothing. What they can do is amplify something that was already there. And my examples to this is a game like Meet Your Maker came out on PlayStation Plus last year, day and date. No one talks about Meet Your Maker. And in case you guys have forgotten what Meet Your Maker was, it was this idea where you build like your own dungeon and then people can try and come in and run into it and get your stuff, and you can do the same for theirs. It was one of these games where you have to build the game yourself, and immediately, that was turned off. The graphics weren't great. The whole concept kind of seemed like from a different bygone era. When they are doing PlayStation Plus, and I don't think a single person sent a single tweet about it.
I never even heard of it, to be honest. I didn't even know. I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what game you're talking about right now. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, some people remember. Some people are like, "Hey, he's not lying. That was a game." Thank you, Brian. Another game is Humanity. Which is like a
yes, that I heard of.
Yeah, heavy in-depth puzzle game. And listen, people were like, "Oh, it's playing with, I don't know." I guess it played off a kind of idea that I was like, no, I'm sorry, but that was also day and date on PlayStation Plus. So subscription services, and again, this is a lie that Microsoft has kind of like put out there. It's like the fantasy. It's a little bit like, I don't know, the dream of moving to LA, but for subscription services, thinking that just because you go into Game Pass or you go into PlayStation Plus day one, that somehow 10 million people are going to come by and try your game. It's the same thing with Hi-Fi Rush, right? Like Hi-Fi Rush has been this game with this massively inflated kind of like popularity or like estimation of its popularity, and then come to find out less than 1% of the people on Xbox have actually even turned on the game. It's like these subscription services do not make a game popular. They do not like suddenly just take something and it's like, wow, they catapulted. And I'm sure there will be like one example of like a frankly tragic game that kind of got popular because of that, like Outriders maybe. But even Outriders kind of had this appeal. Like before people know that it is, I guess, lacking content, they look at what the trailer is saying. And since we are allowed to judge games by trailers, by the way, they were interested. And then the subscription service, what it just does is lower the barrier. But there's no point in lowering the barrier to where nobody wants to go. Like you can make it a fucking downhill slide, and if people don't want to go that way, they don't care. That's exactly what subscription services do. They lower the barrier, but people actually have to want to go wherever that road leads. So the other thing that I wanted to say is that if we combine our two kind of like main points, you pointed out that a person might want to be on a subscription service, might want a particular game, only to find out that that game is not on that subscription service, which is like a huge issue, right? Because normally, if you take a look like at Spotify, for example, if a Beyonce or if a Drake or if a whomever, J. Cole drops a song, you can 99% of the time expect that song will be at least available on one of the major subscription services for music, right? Like if it's not Spotify for some reason, then it will be Apple Music. And if it's not that, then it will be Tidal. And you kind of have like those three that it's somewhere there. The same thing with like a major show or a major movie. Usually, after a certain time, you can be sure that it will be somewhere on one of those multiple, movie streaming services. Whereas for gaming, Xbox is going to be like, yeah, absolutely. If we make it, it's on our service day and date. Ubisoft is trying to move in that direction. But for the majority of the industry, especially titans like Nintendo and PlayStation, they're like, no, you're not getting it until it becomes a catalog title, So there's that. Yeah. And also, I just want to go back to my, my point before that games are not a transient like product. You do not just play a game for 2 or 3 minutes or just 2 or 3 hours. And the very nature of the fact that a game might take you 10 all the way to 300 hours, somewhere in there, the longer you're invested in a singular game, the less advantageous having a service becomes. Because the idea of a subscription service is that you have access to all of these games, so the better value in it for you is to actually not play a lot of long games. It's better for you to get to play a lot of, let's say, 5 to 6 hour games in terms of maximizing like the return on your investment than it is for you to invest yourself, let's say in Starfield for whatever reason, for 400 hours. So it's like, if you're going to invest yourself in Starfield for 400 hours and you are a working person, which means that those 400 hours might be 3 or 4 or 5 months in real life, you're actually better not being on a subscription service. And then let's say after Starfield,
because you're not going to be playing anything else. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And let's say after Starfield, you invest yourself in Call of Duty. You're like, okay, I did my big epic single player. I want a big epic multiplayer. And now you're going to spend 1,000 hours, which is again another 6 or 7 months in real life. Now you've spent the entire year and you've only played 2 games. And let's say both of those were available on that subscription model, but it did nothing for you. And in fact, it has cost you more money in order to have access to those games. And should you wish to have continued access, now it's starting to look even worse. So that's the thing with, like, again, with books and games, you are invested in those products for so much longer, like disproportionately so compared to music and movies, that's why subscriptions have struggled to make an impact. Like, again, just taking it to books, right? Because that's a neutral territory. You guys know about Brandon Sanderson, right? Epic fantasy writer. He has his own like multiverse or like universe. He has his own universes in his fiction, right? If I told you, okay, you want to read up everything about the Cosmere universe, that thing is like 17 books long right now. It would take you years, years, even as a book lover, to read all of those books in just that one universe. And he has another one. And that's one author with 2 different universes. If you wanted to read all of his books, like, what would be the point in you getting into the subscription service? You're better off just buying them.
No, you made another great point because, but like, what's one of the knocks on PlayStation? Oh, people just buy PlayStation because of Fortnite, Call of Duty, and Madden or football, football club. And I'm like, those games you don't need Game Pass. So if that's why people are buying consoles for, then what's the point of the subscription service? If all you're gonna like Fortnite, you don't even need any type of subscription service. So then how is subscription service gonna be the big deal when you just admitted most people playing games that don't need this type of subscription service because this is the only games you're gonna play, and that's when they change it to you might want something different, and okay now you want something different. Yeah, okay, got it.
Even if you wanted something different and
you could just buy it. Yeah.
Not only could you just not buy it, but you want to play something short.
Yes.
Like you want to play the Gardens Between, right? Because you don't want to be away from your main chick for like 100 hours, right? Like if Fortnite is your thing and you're just kind of feeling something else on the side, you're going to be looking for games. You're going to go on How Long to Beat, And
not only that,
like, okay, I want games that are 5 hours or less.
Not only that, it's probably if let's say if you primarily play Fortnite, you're thinking, ooh, I'm gonna stop playing Fortnite. It's probably because there's a specific game you want to play. That's the reason why you're willing to come off Fortnite. It's not you're just not gonna come off Fortnite just to be like, I'm just bored. I'm just gonna play anything. It's probably like, snap, Spider-Man is out. I want to play Spider-Man. You play Spider-Man, then you go back to Fortnite.
And then
that's what
Spider-Man will be done. Like
yes, again, exactly.
So it's like
it's satisfying too.
When you look at all those factors, it's like you're like. It's so obvious that subscription gaming will struggle in our medium. Again, just like it does in books. You guys have to like compare across media type and be like, why does it work here in this industry? Why does it work over there? Whereas if I say to you, hey, listen, you know what? Hold on, you don't listen to enough African singers and songwriters or whatever. Let me send you 3 songs. That's 10 minutes of your time. You'll be like, all right, just add on Spotify. Yep, okay, give me 3 songs. 1 from each artist, and then that's it. Like literally, that's it. I have taken almost none of your time because you could be listening while cooking. Like that's another thing we don't talk about, right? Like this is active media, so you have to stop what you're doing. Like you literally have to be like, hey, life, go to the side so that whatever Emmanuel recommended can take over my life for a moment. Whereas with music, I can just be like, hey, you know what? Just put it in the background. Like I literally, the time investment, the investment altogether is so much lower than it is for a game. If I tell you, hey Porto, go play the Gardens Between for just a few minutes, that means that you're not cooking, you're not talking to your wife, you're not watching a movie, you're not playing a game you'd rather play, you're not cleaning your front yard, you're not studying, you're doing nothing but going off of my recommendation.
Another point that's good to that is, like I just said, I finally beat Hogwarts. It's about I played it for 98 hours. Now, if you translate, that's one game, just one game, 98 hours. If you translate that one game to like, let's say a 1 hour TV show, and on average Netflix does 10 seasons, right? So you got one season of 10 hours. That's like 9 seasons of a TV show. So yes, new episodes, new seasons, perfect for subscription, right? But this is just one game I bought. Why do I need to pay $15 a month when I could just buy the game once and play it? That's it. You see what I'm saying? And that's exactly so. Those are great points, right? You know, the amount of time it takes to consume a media, like Spotify. Spotify, I think, is the biggest streaming platform, like subscription platform. Has over 500 million subscribers and over 200 million paid subscribers. But it literally is like the perfect media because, like you said, you can listen to 3-4 songs. It's like 5 minutes. It's like literally nothing. It's like nothing, right? So to try to listen to
give up anything,
and you have to give up nothing. Yeah,
doing your thing.
You could be driving, man, which is very common.
Exactly.
Or, you know, you could just be driving. And then it expanded to even more mediums like, what you would call it, 840 hours. No, I said 98 hours.
No. He's talking about his own thing.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, okay.
That he played the game for 840 hours.
840 hours? What the hell were you doing? Like, you were destroying every single crab in that game. Holy shit. Like, yo, this guy, every
time a person will respawn, he killed them again.
He says, I'm going to kill everybody. He was the darkest of the dark wizards. Like, everyone dies in this game. No one lives. Even the students.
He killed the creed itself.
Jesus. Holy cow. 804. I don't see how. Like, wow. Damn, is that many hours in a year? Like, holy shit. Oh, God. But anyway, but like, music is the perfect medium for streaming, right? You could do it in your car, in the airport, like anywhere. And then now they add podcasts and stuff. You literally could just like you said, you could do 2 things at once. You could be cooking in the kitchen or cleaning in the house. You put on some music, and you know, there's a lot. So yeah. So the main thing I would say going forward, we need to be done with this conversation. Like I said in my video, 40%. I don't want to hear about subscription being the future until like 40% of the industry. You know, I don't want to hear this because right now 10% is nothing. It's not even worth to brag about. It's like, and then it already flattened, right? Which is bad because the subscription should constantly keep going up. It's no longer going up anymore. It just done. Usually, which just means when usually what that means is whoever's interested is there, and yeah, you're pretty much it. You're not gonna get more people anymore. Whoever's there is there. Whoever's not is not. You know, and then at that point, this is what sucks because if PlayStation and Nintendo and them notice, damn, we're just teetering back and forth, but we're staying among the same lines. Then the next plan is, how can we squeeze the blood out of the stone? And you see that with Netflix. Netflix has been stuck at like 220, 218. They can't get past that number. That's it. Now they're profitable, but they're stuck at that number. They can't reach 250, 280, 300. They can't. So what do? They now reshifting the model. Oh, we're not going to change the basic model to include ads. But if you don't want ads, you just pay an extra $5. Like, wait, what? So I have to pay more for something I already had? I already had a basic Netflix with no ads. You changing it up.
Prime Video is about.
Prime Video did that. Actually. Yes, they just, and I'm not doing that. I'm not, fuck it.
5 days. That's in
like,
5 days.
Yeah, so fuck it. Go get the commercial, right? Like right now we all have Amazon Prime with no commercials. So now they're going to say, hey, you guys got commercials, but if you want to go back to what you originally had, you got to pay more.
Exactly.
So what that tells me is they're not getting any more subscribers. It's done. They're flattened. Yep. So now they're just going to try to squeeze blood out of the stone, meaning they're going to try to squeeze more money over the users they do have because they can't gain new users to grow the platform. They pretty much, that's it. Where they're at is where they're at. So now they're just finding ways. How can we find ways? You know, and I can understand like if you added more stuff, but to take away and then say you'll get it back if you pay more money, that's bullshit. Like, that's absolutely bullshit. You need to add more shit to make us pay. Like, keep everything the same and just be like, hey, if you pay this amount, we now offer this, something. Like, make it additive. But no, they take away and says if you pay us more money, you get what you originally had over the last 5 years or whatever.
You know
that's
the thing that annoys
bullshit.
me the most? You know the thing that annoys me the most is that back, I don't know, in the 2000s, 2010s, there used to be these things called grandfather plans. It was like, hey, you have been a subscriber for a while. We have changed our policies. It is going to cost more money.
But not for you.
If you are a subscriber, you get to just keep the same price as long as you're a subscriber to us.
As long as you stay subscribed.
You come back and you're a brand new person, new phone, who this. But as long as you stay loyal, we're gonna give you this discount or this loyalty back.
Yes.
Nowadays they don't even give a fuck about that.
Yeah, new number. They're like, new number. Who? No, like they don't give a damn if you're loyal. These hoes ain't loyal. Like, goddamn, Chris Brown, Clankstar.
They punish you. They punish you for having been loyal.
Yo, I've been
that your prices have gone up, and yet the new subscribers, they get a discount. They're like, hey, try it for $1 for a month, and you're like, wait, why don't I pay $1 for a month? I've been paying for like the last 360 months.
Yeah, I've been on Amazon Prime, and thank God the main appeal for me is not so much Amazon Video, even though they do have some cool stuff, but for the most part is really the shopping, the free. Yeah, something now they added. I get same day delivery. Oh, I love that. So that's the only reason why I didn't unsubscribe, because most of my shopping is on Amazon. The store, and maybe because I'm here in California, so the warehouse is like here. I get same day delivery. Ooh, you know what that is? You hit deliver, buy, and then 2 hours later, boom, they just dropped the pack. I'm like, woo, it's awesome. Clankstar. Thank you for the super chat, man. He says, hot take. Game Pass is anti-consumer because it lowers the barrier of entry? Think about it. How good would a game have to be to earn your business if your only choice was to buy it full price? So, okay, so you're talking about the Game Pass fodder theory? Mm-hmm. So, that's true, right? I think any minute gotta be careful with that, right? Because if we take an industry where nobody buys and it's pretty much prepaid, because that's how I look at all these services. You're prepaying for content. Yeah. Because you automatically subscribe, you don't even pay attention to the bill no more. So you're prepaying for content. So let's say even on Spotify, there's probably a shit ton of trash music on the service. But guess what? You already paid for it. Because you're prepaying every single month consistently, so it doesn't really matter what music they put on. You already own it, So yeah, in gaming we gotta be careful with that. Where if let's say if something like Game Pass and PSN Plus became the norm and nobody buy games and everything's just pre-played, they could just provide shovelware, and what you're gonna do? You already pay for it. You've been paying month to month to month. I mean, hell, technically speaking, you made a good point. I remember other podcast Extreme where Xbox gamers are finally getting new games. So what have they been doing for years now? They've been paying month to month to month for what? They haven't been getting new games. So Microsoft's been getting all this money for day-and-day games when they actually didn't get day-and-day games for years. And I think it was you, right? You mentioned that, right?
Yeah,
and then, and then they make it worse. They say, oh, now you get, what is it? Not game preview, but early access for $40.
Early access.
And you're like, that's not early access. That's day of release. Yeah, that's not early access. That's day of release. The day you play the game is the day of release. And guess what? So you didn't pay day and date.
Exactly. Yeah. The fact that Microsoft has gotten away with that and people defend it, like people attack me on Twitter for pointing out that Starfield didn't come out day and date. Like if it comes out 3 days early for people that pay and that's available to the public, that means that was the day of release.
Yes.
If it is available only to journalists, or if you have to have some other kind of qualifier besides money,
exactly,
to get to it, then it's not released.
Yes.
But no, the day that a person like me can just turn on my PC or my Samsung washing machine and access it, that's the day that it is released.
Exactly. And it's not like it's a month early. It's like 2 days. So they're really charging for FOMO. That's really what they're taking advantage of. Fear of missing out, right? Because they know there's a lot of...
For something you already paid for, supposedly.
Yeah, so you already paid for in Game Pass, and they're like, well, we're going to do early release for $40. So a lot of people are gonna be like, damn, I don't, the game's gonna come out, then people are gonna talk about it, and they're gonna do spoilers, or the content creators like, oh man, I can't miss out. That's all they're doing. They're taking advantage of FOMO. And for those who want to know what FOMO is, it's fear of missing out. So that's kind of, that's all it is, right? But if the game was ready for early release, then just release it that day then. But whatever. But anyway, thank you for those
things. I just wanted to say that one other thing that I think he's talking about is the fact that we lose consumer agency. Like the fact that, for example, a game like Redfall, right? It could technically not be a failure because it is propped up by the totality of Game Pass, right? So you could have a situation where games do not any longer need that quality control, because if a subscription service becomes super popular and super profitable, it's like it will just bear the bad fruit. Do you get what I mean? We no longer have the ability to choose to say like, hey, no, this is bad, let it fail. Take a look at something like Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. I personally believe that it will be absolutely garbage, right? But the point is, I can vote on that. I can choose not to buy it. If it came out as part of PlayStation Plus, like you said, I've already paid for it. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I
we got your money, bitch! That's what they'll be like, we got your money, bitch! What you gonna do about it?
Exactly.
Unsubscribe? Sucker! Like they can release any shit you want, and you're like, fuck. Like, golly. Like, damn it. Yeah.
Exactly. So then we lose this thing where we allow these people to fail if they don't give us the product that we want because we've already paid for it. So yeah, and this is exactly what we were talking about the other day when you mentioned Helldivers 2. I was gonna buy the game, then you pointed out the hypocrisy in it, and I was like, you know what, fuck this. I don't believe in this. I'm not gonna support it. I'm not buying this game if PlayStation gamers are gonna be punished for supporting a PlayStation game on PlayStation console.
And what's funny is people didn't understand that point. So before we segue, people are like, well, game, we've been charging, they've been charging for multiplayer for years, and how come you don't see it on third party? And I'm like, yo, and at that point, I didn't even want to respond because it's like, you guys are totally missing the point. Like, they just didn't understand what we're trying to say. Yes, we know Sony's been charging for third party games. Yes, we know they've been charging for multiplayer. And yes, we even know they charge for their own multiplayer. But what we're saying, and this is specifically, Sony is a first party who created a console. That console was bought by PlayStation gamers. That is $500 they gave to Sony. That same company who made the console decided to make a game. They made the game day and date on PC and their console. For a different audience that did not pay money to them, they get to play that same game for free in the multiplayer side. While the audience, who is part of their PlayStation ecosystem, who you would think they would treat better than anybody else because that is their main audience, they have to pay. And Sony did not try to even think about, hold on, wait a minute. We're about to release a game, and we have our own PlayStation audience, which is our direct customer. They have to pay more for this game, while another audience, which is not our direct customer, it's only a game-by-game basis, they get to play the same game for free, and they get to have access to the PlayStation players. Like, we got to think of something. We got to think of something to balance this out. So either A, we're going to remove the requirement of making this game, pretty much, you're going to pay $29, I think it's what, $29 or $39, $49, whatever. You're going to pay the money, but we're waiving the fee. All you got to do is just buy the money. Now, some people be like, oh, you can't do that because, third party don't give a fuck. They really don't give a fuck. They don't, I mean, hell, for a while, Xbox was charging, you had to get Xbox Live Gold for free to play. And third party didn't say nothing for a while, for a long time, right? So they don't really care about that, right? But Sony could have waived for their own game the online fee for their own players because that's their own, they're taking care of their own players. And I don't think people understood that. It wasn't you're being charged to play online in general. Like, we get that, third party, whatever. But your own first party, you're charging your own audience to play your game while the other platform that's not really your audience in general, they get to play for free at no additional cost.
The best analogy I can give
and that's just weird.
Tesla, you've bought a Tesla, you get access to a Tesla supercharger network, and then you go and you understand that you're going to pay to use that service, right? Like, you pay for it. Cool, no problem. And then somebody buys a Mercedes Benz and a Mercedes Benz dealership, but now the charging standards are standardized, so they can use your supercharger plug. And then they come and they use your supercharger network, but it's for free. Like you'll be like, wait, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. So I buy the thing that directly supports the company to then use this service, and I
And pay for it.
money to use it, and he buys something completely other, not from you, not a Mercedes Benz that Tesla sold, but no, a Mercedes Benz that Mercedes sold, and he comes and he uses this exact same service, but he gets it for free. Like you tell me, you guys wouldn't have
Like,
an issue with that?
Yeah.
Well, get out of here.
I know that's the main point, and it's just outstanding and stuff like that. Craig, you still around? All right, we're gonna go to the next topic. You know, we're gonna talk about your favorite game that you rocking out right now. What is this, Craig? What are we doing here? What are we doing here, Craig? Hey, let me play this video.
Okay.
Like, what is this? Like, what's happening? I don't understand what we're doing here.
On the screen.
Yeah, what's going on here?
You don't know. What is that?
He has a rocket launcher.
Yeah, I guess it does. I don't know what that is. Somebody said chocolate underworld. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
That is a Mosander Lux. That's what that is.
Oh, is it?
It's written.
Oh, it's got a tail. Oh my god. Ain't got no pants on either.
Like, what else?
What is this?
Like, what's this? Let's look at this. What's this?
Look at
Palworld.
you.
That's that game?
Look at you. Now you gotta work for me. Come
Yeah,
on,
it's
get
not
it.
for me.
Come here.
I mean,
Come here.
congratulations. For
What in the hell is
studio,
that?
but, yeah, I can't.
Cute, shiny.
No,
Look at you.
What
I
the?
mean, people bought 4080s and 4090s to be playing this. Oh no.
Can I say
I
something? It's not weird. Can I just
Yeah.
PC gamers love games that don't challenge their rigs. I'm sorry. Like PC gamers, if you want to know the recipe to like be successful on PC, number one, create a game, whether it's an art style or just a requirement where they can get like 300 plus 8 FPS on a 960. Like create that game first of all. Like do whatever you have to do to not challenge their rigs so that they can feel like their rigs are good, even though they're like on a 1060 or whatever. Number two, create an early access game. Tell them it's unfinished, okay? And then number three, make sure that you don't have it on all consoles so that they feel like they're special for getting it early. That is like a cheat code to selling well on PC. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah, it's like they're creating a false bottom. Because it's like, well, it's only available here. Right? They can, I mean, if this is. All right.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yep. Yeah. Certainly hope it does well.
Oh,
And
oh,
anybody
shit,
who's playing it and
no.
enjoying it, I hope you haven't.
No, Chickapee, no. Wait, can I bring him back? Chickapee.
Well, actually, he's beating the hell out of those things.
Yo,
That's
that
actually pretty
motherfucker
cool.
dead. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh man. Yeah, this is Nintendo's actually suing or putting people,
Chickapee, no.
trying to put cases
Wait, can I
on
bring him
people
back?
because it's like
Nintendo doesn't sue. They just send their ninjas. They handle the situation.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's good. Handy. Yeah.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine until one day Nintendo got you, and suddenly your whole business is tanked.
All right.
Playing this game. Yeah,
So-
I can take it.
Let me see. John Baptiste. I like Xbox fanboys say console sales don't matter, but are now saying if Xbox goes third party, there won't be a reason to buy an Xbox. Interesting. Like, yo, then that community is off their rocker. I'm telling you, this is the year of the flat earther. That community turned into flat earther mentality because they got nothing left. They see the end coming. So they're just getting their rocks out as fast as they can, as much as they can before they become completely irrelevant. Now, I'm going to say this. So as far as the success of the game, it's like you said, PC it's a weird community, right? But obviously you can tell a little vitriol is spreading, right? And this game's benefiting from that. It's a Pokemon type thing, whatever. I really just can't explain it. I mean, a grown ass man beating a little rabbit and be like, live on the air is, I don't know, but it's successful. There's no doubt. But here's my thing that I want to talk about. This game created two stupid conversations, right? This is the first conversation. Now, I will preface this. I can understand if Xbox fanboys are using this game to talk shit to the people that use Baldur's Gate 3. That's even Steven, right? PlayStation dudes was using Baldur's Gate 3, which was clearly coming to Xbox, which I never understood why they would do it, but I saw it. You know, it's timed exclusive. It's not here. Xbox is missing out because it's trash. I got it. They talked that shit when it came to Baldur's Gate 3. Got it. So now I can understand if the Xbox guys are reciprocating in kind with this game. It's a big hit. Regardless of the graphics, it's a big hit, but they're doing the same thing. You know, obviously, you know, it's not on PlayStation because PlayStation doesn't have a very good preview program. They hardly allow it. You know, they're not as easy as Xbox and PC. But I understand the shit talking. That I absolutely understand the shit talking behind, all right? What I don't understand is this, and this is where my point came up with, and I'll show you, is with Gritty, right? Gritty, anyway, he said, PlayStation fanboys hyping up third-party exclusives has officially backfired. No? Like, why? Now, the Xbox homies are talking shit about Palworld's success, and ponies can't say nothing because they've been hyping up third-party exclusives all of 2024. Actually, since BG, like, whatever. If his point was about talking shit about Baldur's Gate 3 and you don't have it because it's timed exclusive on PlayStation, I get that. But that's not why he's talking about with me. Everybody tried to make it about that. I'm like, no, that's not what he's saying. He's upset because he's trying to push the narrative, and guys like him trying to push the narrative, oh, you ain't got nothing in 2024. And PlayStation guys are like, fuck is you talking about? You know, me personally, you know, Rise of Ronin, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, right? And one of the biggest games of 2024, period, is going to be Final Fantasy Rebirth. And he doesn't like that. Because what he wants is to people to recognize PS4 as dog shit as Xbox 2022. No, sorry, you were dog shit. Xbox 2022, hell, Xbox been pretty much dog shit since launch for the most part, right? So now he says, this game has backfired. Like, no, it hasn't. If you guys are saying, hey, we got our own third-party exclusive, that's a big hit, right? And it's Palworlds. But I called them out on this because I said, let me go with my thing. Let me show you where this all began. Right? So he uses that as a talking point, right? I said this is why Xbox gamers are talking about Palworld. God forbid they actually want to play the game, right? So they're hyping as a third-party exclusive just to counter the actual third-party exclusives we're gonna play, right? And he even admitted it. I have no interest in the game, and I never said I did. Then why the fuck are you talking about it? Like, I have no interest in Pacific Drive?
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't hear me talking about that's an exclusive. I don't even mention it. It's a fucking race. It's a car game, right? I ain't driving.
Yeah, I mean, you do drive.
I'm not driving.
It's much more than that, but yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm not doing.
like button.
Listen. The fact that
he's about to hate car games.
listen. The fact that it has the word drive, you're fucking you're dead to me. You don't exist. I don't even like that. You better be like Star Trek and have warp drive. I ain't trying to hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm not bragging about that, you know, because I'm not going to play it. So I did not mention Pacific Drive at all. And I only mentioned Helldivers, but mostly because of the complaint. But for the most part, that's not one of the games I'm looking forward to either. I specifically mentioned
Small tangent. Did you play Rocket League?
Rocket League. I tried. I'm like, this is garbage.
You were like, shit, I'm in the car. Fuck this.
Yeah, I'm in a car. I'm like, fucking, I've had to play football club. You know,
Go ahead.
but you know, but like Helldivers, I told people I'm not really gonna play that either. The only time I really talk about Helldivers is to address that that's a Sony first party game. Now people go, oh, but it wasn't developed by a Sony first party developer, so it's not. I'm like, okay, so then don't ever say Bloodborne is a Sony first party game ever again, because technically that was developed by From Software. So we picking and choosing whenever, but that's really the only time I talk about it, and that's versus other guys, not really the Xbox dudes, whatever. But that's one of my sticking points for this. If the conversation was just talking shit to clapback because of Baldur's Gate 3, I get it. You got your clapback. But it's not. You got Xbox dudes upset that we're saying, oh man, we got some great games to look forward to in PlayStation, right? Which is Final Fantasy. Like, who the fuck is not going to look forward to Final Fantasy? It's always been that way. It's always been one of the top franchises that you can get. And for the most part, it's been exclusive for PlayStation other than the 360 era, where the one time was going day and date, and then Final Fantasy 15 was day and date. And then, you know what? Square Enix like, you know what? Ain't nobody buying this shit on Xbox, so what the fuck are we doing? Make this shit exclusive on PlayStation again.
Yeah, I don't understand. They are talking about a game that's in early access, and they're talking about PC numbers. And it's just, which means that what they wanted to do was just convert them to thinking like PC gamers. That's what they're doing. They're taking a game that's not finished, and they're bragging about the users, even though the users don't matter because the subscriptions have flatlined. It's almost like they're fighting two different narratives. Like, okay, well, we can say that this is successful. Look how many people are playing, and that throws dirt on, you know, what they talked about, the subscription services. And it's something that we have on Xbox that PlayStation doesn't have. But again, I can only speak for myself. I did not buy my PlayStation to have something like that running on it. Congratulations to the studio. But think about where these guys were. They were talking about full RDNA 2, VRS, VRR, 12 T flops, and they're trying. Yeah, mesh shaders. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Full RDNA 2, whatever, and they're playing this game. This is what they're left with. Okay, fine. That's fine. But I mean, again, it just shows you quality over quantity. When Cyberpunk came out and it was trash on the consoles, Sony said, get this out of here. This shit's corny. It's not working right. We don't want it. Xbox said, well, we're gonna keep it. I mean, that is just their DNA. They don't care about the quality. It's about the quantity. But am I happy for the studio and its success? Yes, I'm not going to hate on the studio. No. But, there's no reason. I mean, they're literally talking about a PC game that is ported over in a bad form on a console. And the reason why
I heard it's not even the same version.
May not be. I mean, it's not on PlayStation because PlayStation doesn't have an early access time window. No. Because the game it's not complete. So why put something incomplete out? It's like going to the liquor store and you guys are buying soda, which is, I guess, is okay, but I'm going to the liquor store to get me some Johnny Walker. If you want to go ahead and buy Crush and Pepsi, be my guest. But I don't get the analogy,
but it's funny.
Well, yeah, it's just they're bragging about a PC game, bragging about PC numbers in your console gamers, and just 4 years ago it was about 12 T-flops and mesh shaders and 52 CUs, and this is what you're talking about now? I'm sorry, this looks like a game that came out on the original
Switch.
Xbox. Yeah, I mean, I get it, and I'm not saying that I've never played it, so the game may be great, but it's not for me. But I certainly wish the studio. I'm not gonna hate on the studio, like I said. Good luck to that studio, but you can miss me with any talk about power, any talk about mesh shaders. Where's the mesh shaders in this? And there was something up there called bubbles. I mean,
You're attacking a chicken.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. I guess. I mean they beat the hell out of that chicken. That's fine. But if this is what you're playing,
And the chicken has a health bar.
I know. But it's all about them saying we have something you don't have. It's like, all right, you can have this. I mean, shout out to you all that are bragging about it. I just yeah. I mean the whole Baldur's Gate thing, I didn't really understand that either, because I'm like, well, that game is coming to Xbox. They just don't want to put it on the S, and so that's why Microsoft actually sent their own programmers over to help put that game on the S. So it's just kind of like, yeah, y'all just, this looks bad. I mean, compared to where things were, PS5 is RDNA 1.5. This looks like something running on RDNA 1.5. But bottom line, but I hope it does well. Yeah, somebody else said, hold on, not to cut you out there, Somebody else said machine learning. Yeah, what's this got to do with what you all were talking about just 48 months ago, when you all were all high and mighty and holding your nuts and all that stuff? Nah, you look at this shit and you're bragging about it. I mean, look at it.
He's on extreme energy. What the hell?
The fuck is going on here?
Yeah, what is this?
I mean,
but it's got so many users. Yeah, but we know that that's not working. That's why Microsoft is putting things on other platforms, on other consoles.
Craig is on extreme energy over this game. I've never
this shit
seen
is,
you be so just
but this shit,
agitated by a game.
this is so,
like, oh,
this
yeah,
is
whatever,
wild,
whatever.
bro. Look at this is wild.
Yeah, they're saying. I mean, let me make this again. The studio love it for them,
please.
But I mean, this is what you got. It's almost like the Lord of the Rings when they were attacking, and that dude was like, "Is this all you have, Solomon? Is this all you can muster? Like, this is all you all got?" I mean, something hitting a chicken. Well, I assume it. Please tell me it's in 4K. At least tell me it's in 4K, like you all were talking. So, but nobody is envious or jealous, and we just know you guys want to stay relevant. And breaking news, you will be relevant because you're going third party.
Oh,
so
shit.
that's your relevancy. So, and
All
it is what it is. But enjoy the game. Enjoy the game.
Ice Rizo, thank you for the super chat. He says there is plenty of early access games on PS, e.g. Wayfinder. PS has an early access program. They do. They just have it very strict. They do have an early access program, but they're very strict. So I guess maybe up to a certain point, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't really understand it. They make it really hard, but he is right. They do have it. Extreme, what do you think about this?
Hey, listen. I finally get to talk about, Slave Simulator over here.
Oh,
Discount
shit.
Slave Simulator,
Oh,
because
my
of course Pokemon is the original Slave Simulator. Listen, Craig has already touched on many of these points. Okay,
He went on demon time. He took your demon time away from you.
Listen. I don't need to say much after that. I'm just gonna try and touch on the points he didn't touch on.
Okay,
Which
there you
isn't
go.
much left.
Speaking, I know he bodied that topic.
Hey, listen, man. He was on that Emmanuel energy. Suddenly, he was like, "Wait, what the fuck are we looking at?"
He was on demon time.
52 CUs. Normally, Craig is the one
This is-
holding me
this is-
back. He's
this is
like,
52
other
CUs.
people are allowed to enjoy it.
Man, he ain't trying to hear that bullshit.
He was like, "Get the fuck out of here."
Yeah, that machine learning and like you said, him mesh shaders and VRS. Okay, this is what you all got now. This is where you all are, bragging about a game on PC because of numbers. It's just, and again, nothing about the game. You all don't take screenshots that says that you're playing the game. And yes, it's an early access program, but they have a higher bar of quality. This is something to look. This can't come. It can't happen. It's like that guy that missed the field goal the other night for the Bills. And that guy on the radio is like, "No, the season can't end this way." Like, this is you all. Look at that shit. Look at it.
He's using a fox as a flamethrower?
This is fine. You know, hey, why not? You know, this is 52 CUs. All right, so this is what you can do.
Give
You
them more. Give them more. I can wait. I'm enjoying this. Give them more.
Yeah, this is what we were
so
told.
rare from you.
Yeah, this is full RDNA 2. What we were told, full RDNA 2 by Lisa Sue, and this is
Remember the world's most powerful console, Craig?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, world's most powerful console. Congratulations. You have a game.
Spencer felt good after seeing PlayStation Showcase for games like this.
Yeah, he did. Boy, I really was, man. Yeah, you're right. Like, man, you know, we're really in good shape with this. Our hamburgers.
He said we got Palworld coming. Did they just show God of War? They don't know.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, look, I'm not saying the game isn't fun. I have not played it, but yeah, I mean, this is what you all have. I mean, you're literally talking about this because you have it. Well, you can have it. Like I said, I mean, it looks fun. It's different looking, but it's just not for me. But I'm not mocking the game. I'm mocking the fact that this is 12 T-flops. I mean,
he said this is CUDA cores, 7,000 CUDA cores. So
CUDA cores.
So let me add another conversation. So this is where I'm like, all right, this is getting ridiculous for this game, right? So shout out to Gaz, you know, Game On podcast and stuff, right? Game On Daily. He wrote this. Spider-Man 2's budget stretched to the limits at $315 million. Palworlds, $7 million. Palworld sells over $6 million in 4 days, while Spider-Man does over $5 million in 11 days. Tell me again how the AAA space doesn't need to reconcile its large unsustainable budgets. I don't see the connection between the two.
I don't either. It's simple. Sony is going to spend, you know, whatever, 200, 300 million. But I think he's trying to say, even though they spent that much, you sold this much in 11 days. But this game cost $7 million, and it sold $6 million in 4 days. Yes, on PC, guys.
No, but even then, what does it matter? Like,
yeah, no, the game is out.
We're not gonna beat around the bush. They're trying to justify the fact that Microsoft doesn't invest hundreds of millions of dollars in their games.
There you go.
Games like this. That's basically it. Like that. At the end of the day, that's where it ends. Okay. Now, there's many things that are wrong with this comparison. Number one, Spider-Man costs $70 a pop. This game costs like $30 a pop. So when you look at the actual financial,
and it's not even finished.
To be accounted for. Number two, there is such a thing as install base. Spider-Man 2 is only on the PlayStation 5, which right now is just about 52 million consoles. This is supposed to be on 1.2 billion PCs. So whatever it is. So again, it's like, I hate these statements, and I understand that Twitter isn't the place for it. But they are so disingenuous because they take away any kind of like subtlety or nuance, and you're trying to make like a broad industry sweeping kind of conclusion about something where most of the facts that you got are wrong, or they are just not put down on the table, you know. But in any case, I just want to return to, Slavery Simulator just for a second. Okay, number one, PlayStation gamers, I'm sorry, but I don't trust none of y'all. Y'all gonna eat this shit up when it comes to you.
Yeah, probably.
Trust none of you.
All right, but
I trust none of you.
Don't. So the guy, you send me an invite, I'm blocking you.
Hey, same thing. But you know what, P-Rock? I don't trust any of these guys out here. Because if you tell them, hey, do you play Pokemon? They'll be like, yeah. And if you tell them, hey, what if Nintendo made Pokemon with guns? They'd be like, fuck yeah. So I'm sorry, when this thing comes to your console, I trust none of you. I love you, but I can't trust you.
He said, fuck yeah. Pokemon with guns. Oh, shit.
That's what it looks like.
That's
a flamethrower. I mean, come on.
You know what? Hey, P-Rock, it's a bit like those, you hear those stories about these people who, what is it, like they raise like a wild animal, and then the animal loves them in a TikTok picture, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but the day that animal gets hungry, you do not trust that panther. Like, the day you're like, oh shit, the meat's not getting delivered today, you're not crossing that panther's path. You're like, hey, get out. So listen, as soon as this game comes to PlayStation, you guys are gonna be on it. You are. See, the difference is that Xbox gamers are just using this as a talking point, but when you take a look at like the actual numbers that they have sold on Xbox, they're extremely low. So most of the sales are coming from Steam.
Steam.
Yeah,
But the
PC,
thing is, as soon as the PlayStation gamers get their hands on this, hey, listen, you guys, what do they say? They say this is where the casuals are, right? So even if it's not you guys in the chat, I don't trust these casuals. I don't. I'm sorry. This thing is gonna sell like gang fire on PlayStation. So first, let's call each other out. Okay. The second number is that the second thing I want to thank this game for. Okay. Discount Pokemon has made it okay to use Steam numbers again, because Steam numbers are the most democratized kind of like stats that we get in gaming, right? Not only can you look at who bought the game, you can look at genuine like user ratings from the community. Out of all the things that the PC community does wrong, Steam ratings is the one thing they do right. The fact that they actually genuinely care, for the most part, about giving an accurate representation of the game, and review bombing is pretty much useless because Steam handles it basically.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that Steam numbers are okay again, I want them to come back into the discourse so that, you know, when we talk about whatever game comes out on any platform, we can use Steam numbers to gauge its popularity or its relevancy on other platforms. Like that's perfectly fine, right? In the absence of Xbox numbers, I guess we can use Steam numbers again. So I appreciate that it's done a good service to the community. The third thing I want to say is that this particular title, right, Discount Pokemon over here, has a few issues going with it, right? A few people are having some rumblings about like the fact that they basically copied over a lot of assets from Pokemon, lots of threads on Twitters and everything going on to like, hey, listen, this one is a one-to-one representation with some colors changed around and some of the surface level design changed, but things like motion, animations, behavior seem to be pretty heavily copied from Pokemon in terms of the monsters that they offer. Like somebody mentioned before that the melee looks a lot like the Fortnite animation for the pickaxe melee thing that they have going on. I don't play Fortnite, so I don't have a, you know, kind of like photographic memory as to what that animation looks like, but it does look similar. And then there's been a few other game, let's say, assets that have inspired it, and I guess that's like a form of flattery, right? Imitation. So I do think that eventually this particular game will have to reconcile some of the ways that they managed to build it on such a low budget, you know, because what I hope is this: since apparently it only cost them $7 million to put the game forward, and now they have received hundreds of millions of dollars in terms of early access, then perhaps they can go back and fix some of those issues so that they can have a more, I guess, authoritative point of view when it comes to like, the artistic style and how they created these monsters, and making sure that it's not just a ripoff of another game. And finally, a lot of people have also been having rumblings about AI and how much AI was used and where it was used. And the thing with that is that we actually do have to take a stand against these guys. You don't want AI to be used as something that is replacing a human, you know, the human touch. Because if we let that go on, eventually we are just going to get more and more generic and derivative games and, you know, things that are soulless. So that is the one thing that I wanted to say. So there you go. Yeah, enjoy that. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so let's use that AI convo towards the end of the pod, Jack, because that's an interesting point. But I don't want to interrupt the flow. But remind me, that is a good point to talk about. But back to this, right? So the thing with this, right? I don't understand Gaz's correlation, because he's trying to say, okay, if he wants to argue the AAA space in general might have a problem with with inflated budgets, right? Then that's a separate conversation in of itself. What does that got to do with Palworlds? Because if you look at, here's an example, the top selling games of 2023 in the United States, there's no $7 million game on there. All these games are AAA and have a budget. And most of these games aren't on the budget of $315 million. All right? Mortal Kombat 1 is not a $300 million game. I don't think Star Wars is. You know, Starfield, in fact, from one of the articles I read, Starfield is a $400 budget game, $400 million. And they even sell as well as Spider-Man. Right? But nobody brings that up.
Halo was what, $500 million?
Something like that, right?
That's what they said. Yeah. So why
Dead Island 2.
Talk about that?
Yeah, Dead Island 2, Final Fantasy 16, they're not 300 million. Street Fighter 6 definitely not 300 million. I don't think Elden Ring's even close to 300 million. Neither is Mario Kart. None of these games are close to 300 million, but they're definitely more than 7 million. You don't see a lot of $7 million games break out. Now, this is Europe. The top 20 games sold in 2023 in Europe. Again, I think the only game that you can argue with the lowest budget is the last one, It Takes Two. Everything else is a AAA game. For the most part. But most of these games aren't 300 million, right? It's disingenuous because he points out Spider-Man, but why didn't you say Starfield? Starfield has a bigger budget than, because right here, according to this, let me put it on the screen, right? Starfield reportedly had a budget of 200 million and a 500 member dev team, and then as I scroll down, they said that they project that by the time the game finished, it would be higher than 200 million. Let me see where that part
Where did
is
that
at.
money go?
Yeah. All right.
Is it in Todd Howard's jackets? Like, where did it go?
I mean, like I said, yeah.
Right here it says it's unclear as of yet how much Starfield will cost in total with all other parameters combined, but speculation says that the final figure should be somewhere around 300 to 400 million, considering the stature of the title at hand and the amount of time it's been under development. Moreover, if the 500 member development team part is correct, costs are certain to be quite higher than 200 million, right? He didn't use Starfield as an example, right? And keep in mind, look at here in the US, Starfield is number 11, and that's combined with Xbox and PC. You're at 11. Spider-Man's at number 4. Okay, and if you look at Europe, top 20 games in Europe, Starfield's not even on the list.
Yep.
Right?
So
look,
I personally think
this is Europe. All of Europe. All of this isn't like just UK. This is all of Europe. Top best-selling games in all of Europe. Let me make sure I'm not missing it. You got Football Club, Hogwarts Legacy, FIFA. Wow, you guys really love soccer. You got 2 of the top 3 games is soccer related. Yep. But I understand though. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, Grand Theft Auto 5. That's crazy. Wow. Yeah. Diablo 4, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Red Dead Redemption 2. Wow. Super Mario Brothers, Spider-Man 2, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Assassin's Creed Mirage. And that game came out like last minute. Mario Kart 8, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, F1, Nintendo Switch Sports, Resident Evil 4 Remake, God of War Ragnarok, NBA 2K3, and It Takes Two. Starfield, not in the top 20. And that game costs close to 400. How come you didn't use that as an example, right? And I would love to talk to Gas on a podcast, right? I get there talking about, specifically Spider-Man. Spider-Man is actually a terrible example to use, saying for overinflated budget. And I'm going to tell you why. Because a game like Spider-Man actually has 2 responsibilities. It's not like every other game where the success of Spider-Man is strictly measured on the sale of Spider-Man. No, it has another responsibility, and that responsibility is to sell consoles. So Spider-Man does 2 jobs. Obviously, sell as a game, but just as important, can you convince people to get a PlayStation 5 in their homes? And clearly it did that. Because that's the start. If people be like, ooh, I'm going to get me a PlayStation 5, play some Spider-Man, what do you think is going to happen when they're done? Now, of course, people could joke and say, oh, yeah, they're going to play Fortnite and Call of Duty. Sure. But guess who's going to make the money off of Fortnite and Call of Duty? PlayStation. That's what Spider-Man does. Spider-Man is a system seller. So because Spider-Man has that level of responsibility, right, it's going to get a high budget to make sure the game looks good. And I guarantee you a good portion of that money is the marketing. The marketing is insane for Spider-Man. Let me give you guys an example.
Which you can write off, which they write off at
sure.
100%.
Yeah. But besides, Craig's tax advice, right? Let me give you an example of the insane marketing Spider-Man got. Did most of you seen on Twitter the little big dome Las Vegas has, and they're using it to pop up commercials? Yeah, that's Sphere, right? Xbox paid for marketing for Xbox. So you see the Xbox, it shows all the games come in, it shows Game Pass, like everything. So they paid for marketing using that Sphere for Xbox. Sony did the same thing, but for Spider-Man. Just for one game. They locked down advertisement, not for PlayStation brand, where you could get access, they'll show God of War. No. Just for that one game, they dedicated all that advertisement for Spider-Man. That's insane money they're spending. So that money is it's pretty insane. It's a good portion of the budget. But again, Spider-Man has a responsibility to do two things. It's the success of Spider-Man is not just strictly on the sale of the game. It's how many consoles it could get into homes. And it did that. A lot of people bought a PS5 because it has Spider-Man on the box. And guess what? That is the start of the money Sony's going to get in console. And so that's why I'm like...
You know what, Piro? I'm so glad you pointed that out, because so many times when people talk about a game like Returnal, they talk about it as, it was a failure, it was this. And I'm like, actually, no, because, like you say, first-party games, the second responsibility is actually way more important than the first. Because if Returnal, let's say, sold only 1 million copies, but then 200,000 of those were attached to a brand new console sold, that is far more important than a game that sells 5 million copies, but then converts no one new. Because again, the first party, they're meant to be like the Trojan horse, the thing that gets them through the door, so that then you have lowered the barrier to entry for subsequent purchases. And at that point, Sony doesn't even care if your subsequent purchases are like free-to-play games, monetization, or whether they are their own title. They just want to get in your living room and be the product that competes against the Netflix, the Disney Plus, and everything, because so many of Sony executives have said that's their competition. Their competition is for their time. So yeah, absolutely. The second part of that equation is so much more important than people realize.
Let me shout out to Navenzor. He said Xbox games coming to PS is like your aunt and uncle dying, and now your weird cousins sharing your room and eating your food.
Yeah,
Wow, that was great. Yeah, that's right. I had a laugh at that at the chat. That was pretty funny, right? Now another thing is, right, and I brought out and I replied. I'm like, do you want? Because if you're arguing hey, here's the thing. Gamers arguing that games are too expensive, big budgets. I'm like, what are you really asking? Because if you're telling the industry you don't need to spend that much money, because look at Palworlds, they did that $7 million. Do you want your games to look like Palworlds? You want your game to look? You want your game to look like this?
Also, what they're saying is if the budgets go up, the dev cycles are longer. They're going to turn around and raise the prices of the games, and they don't want to have to pay for them. That's kind of the secret under the carriage there.
True, but here's the thing, though. You're not going to get games that cost $7 million to make and think you're going to get The Last of Us 2 graphics or the next generation graphics. No. You're not going to get full RDNA 2. And that's why I said to him, this is what I found funny. I replied, I said, now all AAA games is going to cost like Spider-Man, which is true. Look at the list, right? Madden 24 did not cost $315 million, right? I would wager Zelda didn't. Maybe Diablo, maybe Call of Duty, but only, again, because of marketing. Mortal Kombat definitely didn't cost $315. Maybe Star Wars, again, the licensing, whatever. Yeah. Resident Evil 4 remake, that's $315 million. That will be the show. Dead Island. Final Fantasy 16, I think Final Fantasy 16 is just under $200 million. Street Fighter 6, Elden Ring, these games didn't cost that much, right? Yeah. But I said, not all AAA games is going to cost like Spider-Man, and I don't even get the comparison argument. I honestly don't. There are countless of games on PC with low budgets, and we don't even know their names. They're literally non-existent. There's tons of $2 million, $3 million, $4 million games that's all over in the indie space, and most of the games we don't even know what they are. But then what I said to him was, what's funny is he hyped Power for almost a year in 2020. He hyped for RDNA 2, right? And the point of what I was trying to say is, you hype Power for RDNA. They even dogged the PS5 as calling it the PS4 Pro. I don't know if y'all remember that, Extreme. I don't know if you've been around for that.
Everybody they literally, that, man.
Yeah, the rumors.
They said Lisa Sue was lying about the RDNA
being RDNA 2. They literally called the PlayStation 5 the Pro. Did you not think for 1 minute this shit talking about Power was not going to cost? You think it's going to be free? You think they're going to be able to take the advantage of what you guys hyped and think you could do it with $10 million? What the fuck what were y'all thinking was going to happen? Y'all hype all this power, all this performance, all this shit, and you think they're gonna do it in a $90 million budget when PlayStation 4 games was already surpassing 100 million, 150 million.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Ghost of Tsushima. I think Ghost of Tsushima was like 67 million. But yeah, it's you're gonna have longer dev cycle. And again, at the end of the day, you have to look underneath what they're saying, which is because I said this is why I said on Crossfire. Shout out to the Mooch in that panel. In Puerto Rock, you were there. That's why I said Grand Theft Auto 6 is gonna for the regular good old fashioned edition. You're looking at probably between $89 and $99.
I wonder if they do it.
Yang Ye just did a video saying that the $100 per game thing is gonna more than likely start coming true. Yeah, because you can't want them to take full advantage of the PS5, full advantage of the Xbox, and that means longer dev cycles, and it costs more to do that. Now. Palworld it wasn't like that. So they went out there with the money they had. Same with Stray. Same with a bunch of these games that are just to go straight to PC. But you want games like Alan Wake. Like I say, you have champagne taste. You're on a beer budget. and that's just the way it is for these guys. And you made a good point. I don't know why didn't Gaz use Halo Infinite? $500 million. I want you all to understand, $500 million, and he went with a $300 million game because he's broke. I'm saying it right now, he's broke.
I think he bought it. I think he tried to make a point, and like same thing. Apex J. He said, "P-Rock, guys, has a point. Sit this one out, bro. I know you love debating. Palworld has stunned the gaming industry. Most AAAs never do numbers like Palworld did in its first 4 days, not others first week, even months. So I'm like, okay, Apex, you ruined it for this? I called him out. I said, okay, I'll sit this one out as long as he says all Xbox first-party games from here on out need to have the graphics of Palworld so they can stay in the budget $7 million. Yeah. You believe in this bullshit, Apex? I need you to commit. Tell Microsoft, hey, look at Palworlds. You don't need to spend 50, 60, $100 billion. This is the way. All your Xbox games, spend 7, 10 million, keep it that way, we're good. I need him to commit. This is how he responds.
But you're saying these same people are bragging about Call of Duty.
But this is how he responds. This isn't about graphics. It's about gameplay and being fun. Video games supposed to be fun and have good gameplay first and graphics. Not sure why you brought up RDNA2 in the conversation. Gameplay and level of fun is king and should also be considered first and graphics. Oh, he's made it worse for himself. Because I replied and said, that's a different conversation. A $7 million game is not going to have great graphics. Sure, it can be fun. But if you're creating a graphically intensive game, it's going to cost. Especially the bigger, high-profile games. Marketing cost is up there too. So again, Apex, I need you to commit. Don't discuss a point you don't actually believe in. Prove to me you believe in this, and you're not just talking just to talk. Because I have a feeling he's just talking shit. He doesn't believe in this shit. That motherfucker's not going to play Palworlds. Say that all MS first party need to stay in the 7 million range. These type of graphics is perfectly fine, and I'll add, as long as it's fun. So say it. Just say, as long as Microsoft makes fun games, these 7 million games are fine. All the first party could do that. Commit to your point. They're all full of shit. Half of these guys ain't playing this game. Listen, look, let me prove this bullshit right here. I'm going to end this bullshit right here. Look at this. This right here, this is from Microsoft. This is their most played games. They keep track of what Xbox gamers are actually playing. The top 50 games. Where's Palworlds? Where is it? Anybody see it? Mm-hmm. I don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, another game that cost $15 million to make was Until Dawn.
Y'all see it?
It made good money. So.
I mean, there ain't no fucking Palworlds on this list. What are we talking about here? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The argument doesn't make sense. What does Palworlds got to do with Spider-Man? I mean, again, you could compare Palworlds to any. Are you going to compare Palworlds to Grand Theft Auto too? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, the argument
Grand Theft Auto, yeah. No, not to interrupt you, but Grand
Yeah.
Theft Auto is allegedly going to cost anywhere between 870 to 1 billion to make. And so, what is he saying? You see, this is simply about he's on Xbox. Spider-Man is not on Xbox. And again, they don't want these big budget games because you're gonna have to pay more. That's what this is about. He is gonna have to pay more. He ain't got no money. And
Oh man, this guy.
Craig, let me tell you. It's not about how much he has to pay. You're looking at this from the perspective of a calm and rational person, but you can't use that. He's using this simply to defend Microsoft's choices because when you see games like what is it?
Disavowed.
I'm sorry. Listen, my friend. They're already spending only $7 million. They're already there. Okay,
Palworlds is not their game. Palworlds.
But here's the thing.
No, he's talking about no. So what Extreme's trying to say is Microsoft most likely so far hasn't really shown to invest in their games. Allegedly.
When you saw that developers direct, didn't you see the budget of those games? Like I feel like I could throw a dart and land pretty close to the budget of each of those games. Like Disavowed, it's about $12 million max. Like
$12 million.
But another thing that this disingenuous people come is that
It's gotta be more than 12. It's gotta be more than 12. You think it's 12? It's gotta be more than 12.
Bro, no. Hey,
25 million. 25.
But don't distract me. All right. Listen. These people come in and then they want to say that games like Horizon Forbidden West are only expensive, games like Spider-Man are only expensive, games like God of War are only expensive because you have these amazing graphics. And no, the expensive part is the gameplay. Because when you look at the fact that you can disable certain attacks on certain machines in Horizon Forbidden West, depending on which component that you hit. And then the machine has to react appropriately. The AI for that is crazy. The fact that if you guys actually fight a Thunderjaw in Horizon Forbidden West, you will be surprised by how far that thing is allowed to follow you. Like, I remember the first time I fought a Thunderjaw in Horizon Zero Dawn, I ran for days, this motherfucker was on me. It's like, nah, I'm not letting you go. You have to you have to build the AI for the machine to be able to follow through different terrain, different elevations, and still use appropriate attacks that make it feel believable to play against, all at the same time enabling the player to disable, depending on which elemental weakness they use, certain parts or certain attacks, or even use the same thing that they just shot off a machine as a weapon in themselves, which then will have its own properties. That is crazy, and that's for one machine. Horizon Forbidden West has like 50. That is ridiculous. The fact that we keep downplaying just how much gameplay we're getting. In God of War Ragnarok, if you have a humanoid enemy, okay, and you throw the axe at his feet, it will trip them up. If you throw it at the head, it will spin them around. If you then spin them around and you hit them from the back, it creates more stun damage. That's gameplay. Those are things that a person has to go in and program and make sure that it works consistently across a whole variety of enemies. So it's like this thing, we keep getting into these conversations, you know. In The Last of Us Part 2, you guys know about how tremendous the gameplay in that is, how many things you can do, the fact that you can, you know, again, disable certain enemies, the fact that you can trip them up, the fact that you can, you know, have these very believable human-like reactions because you're going up against humans, and then you obviously have the dogs and some other enemy types that have to behave in a way that makes sense. That's all gameplay. That's what we pay for. The pretty graphics are amazing. The voice acting is amazing. The whole package is amazing. That's why it costs so much money. But we can't just keep like saying, oh, it's all about presentation. It's not. These games are some of the most fun, most dynamic, most epic games that anyone can play. And I'm sorry, the thing with Gaz is, number one, I don't believe he's poor whatsoever, right? Number two, even if he was, right? Like, even if Rockstar comes out and then says, you know what, you're going to pay 150 base price for GTA 6, and you don't want to pay that, doesn't matter what your financial level of income, you know that game will go down in price. Again, I have said this, gaming is the only industry where the thing you are buying brand new will be better and yet cheaper down the line than it was at launch. So it doesn't matter what price point you want to come in as, eventually that product will meet you at that price point. So again, it's not about them spending money. It's the fact that they want to find a way to justify Microsoft thinking that they are not worth that money. Because ultimately, that's what it is. Microsoft doesn't believe you're worth a $250 million budget. They don't. And whenever they have tried, they've mismanaged it, which is not your fault. But now they're like, no, we have Game Pass. Like, why are we going to turn Disavowed into a $200 million game when these people are not going to pay for it anyway?
I disagree.
Shout
I do have to jump off though.
All right,
shout
bro.
out to everybody. Shout out to the panel. Shout out.
Thank
to,
you.
At the chat. Stuck around another hour. I was hoping to get to the last of us being in the top 3.
We'll get that. That's my next thing. That's my next point. Real quick.
All right, I'll say I can say about another 10 minutes. Then.
Yeah, we'll cover it through. It's not a big talk. It's more like a shit talking point, or maybe a realization. But Bobo Country with the super chat, he says Tekken 8 releases in 48 hours. You can tell it's the best fighting game franchise in history. Yeah, the AI in Horizon is crazy, especially harder difficulty. All right.
Yeah,
So let's
ridiculous.
Yeah, so let's get to the UK sales charts. So the UK sales charts, they track more often because they do weekly, but usually they're a good predictor, whatever's the best word to use, to compare it to what possibly could be similar in the US, right? But apparently in the UK, The Last of Us 2 Remastered outsold Prince of Persia, new title, right here. So the week ending 20th of January, Hogwarts Legacy is number 1, which is incredible considering it's like almost a year later. Football Club, that's obvious, right? In fact, I'm more surprised that Hogwarts beat out Football Club. That's pretty impressive. But top 2, outstanding. But The Last of Us Part 3 Remastered is number 3.
Part 2.
Yeah, Part 2 Remastered is number 3, and it beat out the
panic, making them think that they have missed out.
I know, right? I know. I said Part 3. They're like, wait, Part 3 is already remastered, and I haven't even played. Man, they're fast. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, Mortal Kombat, Super Mario Brothers, Call of Duty, but The Last of Us and considering that the game you could just upgrade it for $10, that is really impressive. That the actual remastered sell made it top 3. This could be an indicator that this game is going to sell really well in the U.S. because they're not too far apart in the pulse when it comes to UK and the U.S., right? So, I have my bitch sessions, but as more information came, I'm going to blame it on gas. It was 100% gas that kind of delayed things for Naughty Dog, not so much the remasters, right? In fact, seeing tweets and comments from developers, they tend to mention that a lot of people don't get that besides remasters catering to the hardcore that love these games, and it's proof. Because as much shit as we talk about these remasters and remakes, they keep selling. That means they want them. There are people buying them. If it didn't sell, then people would have a point, right? But they're selling. The last one remake kept selling, and now this remaster is selling, right? So number 1, it caters to the people that love these franchises and they want to play them at their best, right? So that caters to number 1. But then number 2, he says you'd be surprised on how many new people are working on these projects to get their skills up or to get their repetitions before moving on to a brand new game that the company's going to put them on. So this is kind of like their minor league training. Hey, this is welcome to the company. This is how we do things. This is how we, work and familiarize those. This is how we develop games. We're going to give you a shot at these remasters so you could get the flow and understand how we do things. And then once you're done, yes.
Found the tools at PlayStation.
Yeah, there you go. They found the tools, right? So I was like, you know what? That's a good point. Because you get new dudes. You don't want them on your new project and they fuck it up. You give them some reps on a product people clearly are going to buy. I mean, everybody could complain and stuff like that. Don't matter. Like I always said, the number one person that will always win an argument, a debate, or has the final say is Benjamin Franklin. And Benjamin Franklin's, the reason why I say that extreme is because he's the face of $100 bill.
I know.
Okay, just in case. Yeah.
The world knows your currency.
Yeah, yes. The world knows. Yeah, so that's the reason. Ben Frank always wins. That $100 bill, dollar bill, y'all. Cash rules everything around me. Cream it, the money. That's it.
I miss that era of me.
Yeah, Jesus, right. So, hey, Craig, I know you want to leave. Anything you want to touch on?
Well, I mean, it's just more proof that they know their audience. They know what's going to sell. And when you look at the people who are upset over this remake, this remaster, what you want to call it, it is all these people have one thing in common, which is they wanted something called factions to come out. And this way, because this game is going to go to PC probably by the end of the year, it's the best place to play it right now till it gets to PC and you have a 3080 or 4080 or something like that is on your PS5, which, as everybody said, hit 50 million. They know a lot of people are getting into the ecosystem. They have a TV show, but they do market based studies and they know what's going to sell and what's not going to sell. So congratulations to Naughty Dog and another job well done. I've got the game. It looks phenomenal if you have the right monitor / TV to put it on. It looks great and it has that open frame mode that I love playing on that open frame mode. So it is what it is, and it's it won the game of the year, so of course they're going to remake it, remaster it. So, but yeah, just you just have a group of people out here who they want things a certain way at a certain time, and they're not getting their way, and they're reacting to it. Sony's got to tell us about where's Sony's games. Well, they just did Spider-Man. This is Q1. Spider-Man: The Last of Us, Grand Blue Fantasy, the Helldivers game. Final Fantasy. That's all. That's Q1. That is, and so they've done their job. It's now up to the consumers to go out and purchase them. Like Porter Rock was saying, Final Fantasy VII gonna be one of the bigger games because it always is. It always is. So Helldivers does have a chance to do well. Have to wait and see how that works out. But it looks fun. And isn't that what Gads is talking about? They don't have to have our budgets. Got to look good. Got to be fun. So, here's what it is. But yeah, that's it. I'm a bounce.
All right, brother.
Yeah, and like I said before, they know more than you do, and just leave it that people need to leave it there. I get it. It's not a game called Factions where you can put on a headset and run around. And what do you do in Factions? Heal people and all. That's it. I'm gonna stand over here by this tree and I'm gonna shoot, and then if I get hit, you're gonna come over and heal me. I mean, it's okay.
Hey, come on.
They didn't want to
Come on now, you're on a good roll. Just leave before I have to take you out for disrespecting factions, okay?
All right. Well, I'm a bounce, and yeah.
There we go. Let's leave on a good note. You were starting to get a little disrespectful there.
Yeah, I'm a podcast tomorrow, so I'll talk about it a little bit more.
He's gonna go make fun of it on his own show.
There you go.
Oh,
yeah, come on. We want to hear me make fun of it on my own show. All right. To see you.
All right, brother. Thank you so much. All right. You got anything?
So here's one thing about The Last of Us Part 2. That you guys know I believe in remakes and remasters because our industry deserves it. Okay, we cannot be the only medium where it's somehow taboo to update our media, our best, our classics for a new audience. And that's the first thing, guys. If this game isn't for you, it's not for you. No one is forcing you. No one is forcing you. There's no such thing as Sony doing, what do they call it, a cash grab? Like somehow money just comes out of your account as soon as they release the product without you wanting it. Like, no, that's what a cash grab would be. If this isn't for you, if you've played The Last of Us before, or if you're thinking to yourself that The Last of Us isn't even a product that you want to play, then you've lost literally nothing. The second thing is that if PlayStation is going to take the time to make a PC port, and as part of that process, right, they are going to upgrade certain things from the PlayStation 4 version, then we deserve a PlayStation 5 version. That is 100% true. Because if you're going to go in and touch things up, and then you unlock additional headroom that the PlayStation 4 didn't have, but the PlayStation 5 can get some of those benefits, of course we should get it. Of course we should get it. We are, again, the PlayStation customers that are supporting or have supported a PlayStation title. So again, let's say that the PlayStation 4 is at this level, okay? We're going to call it a 7 out of 10. And then with PC, you can go unlimited. So you can even build this so that the engine can eventually handle a 12 out of 10. But then, in between that, the PlayStation 5 can hit like an 8.5 out of 10. We should get a version that bumps it up to the maximum level. Because again, you have put in the work to send developers to make this work happen. So that is another reason for why these remasters and remakes need to come. Because as they port a game 2 or 3 years later, I told you, I already want a God of War Ragnarok port again on the PlayStation 5. Okay? When you make the PC version 2 or 3 years down the line, send it to me again. Alright, give me whatever extra unlock potential you were able to uncover. Give us a remaster on the PS5. Let's get it going. So, yeah, that's what I think about it. It's a great game.
Okay.
Can't wait to try No Return.
So looking forward to see how the January PD comes through. Just to see, whatever. I bought the $10 upgrade.
One thing I was gonna say is that this game doesn't matter in terms of sales until The Last of Us Part 2 Season 2 comes out. Sorry, The Last of Us Season 2.
Oh yeah, when I think it will bump up again.
That's the people it's meant to catch. It's meant to catch those people. The people that were like, okay, so I heard about The Last of Us, and then when The Last of Us Season 2 comes out, and the controversy and the talk and everything, and it becomes like its own mini Game of Thrones moment. Yeah, some people
they're gonna go back to this.
I resisted it the first time, but I'm buying both of these shits.
Oh yeah.
Now.
It's gonna. I wouldn't doubt, like you said, season 2. Like with season 2 out, there's gonna be people who's gonna watch season 1 for the first time, season 2, and then they'll learn about the game. It's gonna be ridiculous, man. It's gonna be absolutely ridiculous, right?
The only bad thing is I feel for them because I'm like, bro, The Last of Us shouldn't be your first game. Like if you're brain into video games, oh boy. Hey, listen, they have journalist mode. It'll be good.
Journalist mode, that is hilarious. All right, so we finished up the topics, but I want to add a good topic that you brought up, so we go back to it, which is AI in gaming, which is going to be an interesting point. All right, I think it's going to happen. AI is going to be a part of many industries and stuff like that. It's funny because I'm finishing up my bachelor's degree, and a topic that one of the classes I'm taking is human computer interaction, and AI is a big part of that, right? AI, even the military right now, a lot of people is jumping into AI. So let me say this: a lot of you understand what AI is, but why is everybody jumping into it? All right. In order to understand why the industry jumping into AI, you got to understand what exactly the industry finds valuable. And what the industry finds valuable is information. But information is a collection of data put together that you can form it into information so you can make a decision. This is why even the military is interested. Tech fields, all that stuff. Because decisions is what, is what they have to make. And in order to make a decision, you have to be informed. In order to be informed, you need the data collection to be put together. The time it takes a human to take data, piece it together, and put it into information so you can present it to an authority to make a decision, AI would have been done that. And not only that, it will take it beyond that. It will take it beyond just simply gathering, give you information. It can actually give you alternate choices. It can create PowerPoints. It's insane, right? It's insane what AI is doing, right? AI is literally having access to all this information, put it all together, provide the information that you need, give you alternate options instantly, and could design some type of product, pictures, whatever. It's absolutely insane what AI is doing, right? For one thing, and this is no secret, AI, for example, in the military, they're using it for maintenance, right? So they're putting sensors inside a lot of the new equipment. Let's say like a truck, right? They're putting sensors in different parts of a truck, and as the truck's driving, AI starts learning the habits of the truck and it starts getting fed information. Eventually, AI will get to the point where it'll be like, hey, wait a minute, based on what's happening to this truck, the fuel pump's about to go out. So then AI will inform the maintenance section, be like, hey, maintenance section, truck serial number 2239 is about to arrive in 40 minutes. You need to replace the fuel pump. We won't normally know that in the maintenance section until it actually goes out. While AI is already predicting, hey, this thing's about to go out based on the data we've been collecting for years or whatever. So then the maintenance guys look at it and be like, oh shit, yeah, this thing was on its last leg. But the beauty part is the maintenance section's already ordered the pump, got the fuel pump, got everything, got the mechanic assigned. So as soon as the truck comes in, hey, put it in the bay. Don't even pass go. Don't collect $200. We're fixing it right now. And boom, you got your truck up, already. When normally nobody knows nothing The truck gets parked, it gets left alone. 2 weeks later, somebody checks it out to do something, a job, a mission, exercise, and then when it goes on to do that exercise, the fuel pump blows out in the field. And it's like, fuck, now I got a deadline truck in the middle of this operation, and then it's a pain in the ass. You know what I'm saying? So there's all stuff like that. Now let's apply this to gaming, right? How many things in gaming does developers have to gather data, formulate into a piece of information to get a result? I guarantee they're going to use AI to resolve that. So that's one aspect. But first, I just gave an overview for everybody. I want, Extreme, can you give your piece about AI? Give me 2 parts. We'll start with your fears and the things you don't like. But then also let's critically think, what good do you think can come from it, unless you don't believe anything good is going to come out of it?
Okay, I'm actually going to invert that. I'm going to talk about the good first. First of all, the potential is tremendous, right? Because let's just focus on the game, like just the game development world. Bug testing, quality assurance, okay? AI cannot tell if a game is fun, okay? That is a human property. But it can test if a game is buggy. For example, if the main character cannot follow a pathway that it is indicated should be able to be followed. Maybe you approach a village from the top and then you get stuck on an invisible wall. Things like that. Bug testing and, quality assurance will be tremendously helped, because you imagine that you're a developer, you just got a brand new build of the game, you run it for about 8 or 20 hours, you come by the next day or after the weekend, and it has identified key areas with the highest failure rate. And you could find that, it's just the way that this armor clips with this particular tree branch. For whatever reason, that interaction with this specific armor and this specific tree branch is causing huge issues that cascades down the line into a main quest not being able to be completed. Like, it's things like that, right? Like, we always see these, like, post-day launch patches, and they'll be like, hey, in some rare cases, certain armor will cause the axe to not return to Kratos, and you'll be like, I never encountered that. But that's because there's, millions of us having this game now, and now we have billions of instances where we all do slightly different things, and enough of us kind of, bump up against an issue, then it's highlighted, it's flagged, and then they have to fix it. AI could do a lot of that heavy lifting, before the game ever comes out, like before the builds ever get close to be finalized. It could do that. Another thing is just simply bug testing. Like, if I throw this axe at a person, does it return every time? Okay, I'm going to throw it once, it works. I'm going to throw it 1,000 times, it works. I'm going to throw it 1,000,000 times, it works. Repetitive things like that, where it could be like, there's a memory leak, and now the whole game kind of like crumbles around, because somehow the amount of, like, every time you throw an axe, it created a text file somewhere in the background, and now, you're out of memory, the system shuts down, and you boot your PlayStation. These are things that AI can again do by just hammering at an issue and making sure that those things don't come through. Now, here is a part that I fear. Number one, that AI will be used, instead of maintenance tasks, creative tasks, like creative-led tasks. So, for example, build a new character, or even build a main character without ever having like a human touch or human input into that. Like, you imagine you're thinking to yourself, okay, so we want a game to compete with Rockstar, but we don't really want to pay the people to come and design all the characters. Okay, we're just going to go into an AI generator. We're going to say, hey, we need 20 characters with this ethnicity, 17 characters with that ethnicity. These characters, they need to be old, this particular age range, and then it will just spit out for you 1,000 characters, and you just use them in the game as is. Replacing like the need for an art director, or replacing the need for just all of the people in the teams that need to come together in the art department, in the rigging department, in the engineering departments, in the level design departments, to make sure that all of these things can feel good. Because then what we'll have is we'll have a lot of disjointed projects, and that's just us as the consumers, not even talking about the jobs that will be lost. Basically, any moment where human creativity is needed, like imagine if you just decide, even with procedural generation, that is a form of AI. It's a very low level form. It's a bit like saying that, a calculator is a computer. Like, yes, technically it is, but we all understand that a calculator is a very low level computer. So yeah, procedural generation is a form of artificial intelligence because you put in against certain parameters and then suddenly you have a world. But then take a look at the world like Starfield, where that isn't like wrangled together by the entire design team to make each world a successful one that is fun and entertaining. So then we get this bland and generic kind of soup fed to us. Whereas Horizon Forbidden West was built using procedural generation at first. And then those people went in and then they polished the work that the AI did. So those are the things, right? So the fear is that unfortunately AI may prove to be just too tempting as a cost-saving measure. And eventually we just kind of get less and less and less in terms of the quality out of it, even if functionally the product technically works.
Okay. All right. Let me get my points. JD Gamer. Oh, here we go. He started some shit. Right, he says, when capping for third-party exclusives and sales backfire, PS fan meet Palworld, where will those go posts be next? And that's what I don't understand. How did it backfire? Like, I'm still going to play Rise of Ronin. Final Fantasy Rebirth is going to be one of the top games of 2024. And I'm still playing Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. The question is, are you actually playing Palworld? You know, he goes, oh, and Perry PS is going third party. Man, y'all guys are hurting. JD Gamer, all I gotta say to you is enjoy your fanboyism because your time is up. Satya doesn't care about y'all. All right, you heard him. You heard the words. You know, so hey, your time is up. You're gonna get. Listen, I understand. I was a Sega fanboy, so I know what happens when when your company just be like, hey. We're just going to put everything on everything. Hey, bro, enjoy your time as a hardcore Xbox console fanboy because, the meteor's coming. Now, so to talk to your point, so for the AI and gaming extreme, I do, yes. Things that the creativity, the uniqueness, that is a concern, right? Like character design. You're right, AI can't really determine fun. They just determine facts, data, and information. Like they can tell, all right, by this game design, when you're in this area, why is the characters walking through walls? They shouldn't, because every other part of the game, the wall is the barrier. So then we can even take it a step further to where AI does more than tell the developer that, hey, this is a problem. The AI can eventually be like, hey, I understand how this game is built. I understand the code you use. I can do it myself. Fixes it.
That is a concern, though.
Yeah,
that is a concern because
really?
Number one, the AI it could fix that one part and then break something else. Remember, like they often talk about how games have to be wrangled all at once because you fix something early in the build and then it breaks something later in the build. Another one is that it could just do everything perfectly and that's only you don't need programming anymore.
But think about what you're saying though. The cascading effect is a human problem, and this is the reason why AI is being sought after. Because the amount of time it takes a human to realize, oh man, this is a cascading effects. The AI could breeze through, like the AI could say, hey, let me fix this area. Now let me scan the whole program, and does it instantly or within 30 minutes. Wow! And then it'll be like, and they could be like, wait a minute, this area got messed up, and it could just keep. It won't always do it faster than a human.
You can run through the entire code and fix it and make sure it's perfectly polished for that build, yeah.
Yeah.
But the problem is that now. You have locked out the human process, which means that adding an idea is not something that the AI will do. Because let's say that you say, oh, you know what, let's create Horizon Forbidden West, and then you've created it, boom, it's working, it's perfectly playable. And then you're like, hey, you know what, we should be able to disable weapons from these monsters. Now you've created an entire code set that no human has touched. So how do they go in there and then add like, okay, breakable like weapon system? And the AI is not going to be able to understand that. You're going to be like, okay, now make it so that if you disable these components, this attack doesn't work. And it's going to be like, I don't know. Like, so well, that's the thing. Do you get what I mean? Like,
yeah.
AI
so you'd be
great if you had a very fixed.
Well, so the thing is, AI will learn that though. That's the thing. You may have to train it in the beginning, right? And you'd be like, hey, I want you to do this. And AI is like, and then you train it. But then eventually you'll be like, okay, I get it. I see what, because that's the thing about AI. AI is a learning thing. It's always learning. It's always learning what you're trying to do, whatever, right? And you code it and you be like, all right, do this. And then it doesn't understand. You be like, all right, here's the example of the program. And then they'll look at it and they'd be like, and Elon Musk, man, I wish I predicted this conversation. Elon Musk said, I think it was on, there's a show with, it's on HBO. Give me a second. It was with Bill Maher. Real Time with Bill Maher. Real Time. Let me see. Real Time with Bill Maher. Right. He had Elon Musk on the show, and Elon Musk is dead scared of AI. He's fucking scared. If you don't, there's this. He created a company. He paid $1 billion. He created a company called Neuralink. And what he's trying to do is, with hardware, computerized hardware, insert into human beings so they can use AI to keep up with AI. So he's trying to augment human beings because he's absolutely scared of AI, right? And he said the reason why he's scared of AI, he said AI is the only invention man has made that can improve on itself. Nothing else does that. Like if you made the atom bomb can say, "Hey, make me bigger." That's it. It stops there. If you made a plane, the plane cannot say, "I can make myself better." Whatever. Think of all the inventions, whether it's a trebuchet, a gun, a car, even a computer. None of them can make themselves better by looking at themselves. But he said AI, he says, can actually do that. The AI, if you give it access to its own code and you say, "Hey, review your own code. What are we doing wrong?" He says AI can look at itself and be like, "Wait a minute, you fucked up." Because based on all the information gathered in the world, all the information on programming, and all these large language models and everything, you guys didn't do this. And then you're like, and you give it permission to do it, and the language is like, "Okay, hey, I just made myself better because you fucked up." And he says nothing we ever invented did that. He says, and that's why he's scared, because the thing can improve itself, and we don't know the limits of that. Everything we learn, we teach it, and it could be like, "Oh, now that you taught me this, you realize you fucked up my code, so I'm going to use this new knowledge to fix myself because you guys fucked it up." He says no other product does that, and he says that is so scary because everything else is dependent on a human touch, whether it's a car, a home, energy, food. He says there is no other product imaginable that can actually help itself. A human has to do it. But he says with AI, the more you feed learning, right, it can look at itself and be like, "Wait a minute, this is not right. Why did you make me this way?" So, hey, I fixed myself. And he says that's a scary proposition when you think about it. And I'm like, holy shit, I never looked at it that way, right? So like in gaming, it could look at your code and be like, "Wait a minute, out of all the rules of programming, relational diagrams and all this stuff, the machine could be like, you kind of fucked up. You were supposed to do it this way," and then does it, and it works and stuff like that, right? And any new concepts, yeah, you're right, it doesn't know. But once you teach it, not only will it learn it, it will also combine it with all the lessons. You ever ran across something that you learned new, but you forgot the core principle you learned like 10 years ago? You completely forgot about, because that's just human nature. So as you learn more and more new stuff, you forget about the core principles of other stuff until you fuck it up. And you be like, "Damn, you know what? I completely forgot things are, this screwdriver." You just naturally forget. AI won't forget. It will remember every reference, everything it will learn, and it will not forget. And it always compare it, right? So when you look at a game and stuff like that, my biggest fear is how many people will not get jobs in gaming. That's the biggest thing. Mm-hmm. How many people will not get a job? Like, I think the creators that are creativity, they will always have a job because AI won't, invent something. Like, you have to still tell it what to do. It'll do it, but you still have to do it. Like, AI is just not going to, if you have AI in front of you, it's just not going to sit there and be like, "You know what? I'm going to make a picture of an eagle flying across a mountain, while the city in the background is burning in flames." It's not going to do that. But if a person goes, "Hey, AI, I want you to draw a picture of an eagle, a bald eagle, flying a mountain, and in the background, a city's burning in flames," and then boom, it does it. But it's not going to just sit there and take the initiative and do it. AI is just going to sit there and be like, until you do something, right? So you got a creator. Sure, a creator could be like, hey, I want you to create these characters, but I want them to look a little bit cartoony, almost anime style, blah, blah, blah. Has these dimensions, and then AI will create all these characters. And what did you do? You just got rid of all these designers and character designers. Because AI just pretty much. And then you can look at it, it could be like a little bit taller, a little bit skinnier, and the shade a little bit lighter. And then, all right, add this to it. All right, got it. These are the characters we're going to use. And that's my thing. Like, AI is going to take a lot of jobs away from people. And that sucks. I hate and more often than not, it's going to be the poor people that suffer. Or the lower income people. Or like the modest income. It's not going to be the 300, 400, the six-figure C-suite guys. Because those guys are just decision makers. And literally, that's AI is for. AI is being built for them. So that way decision makers can make decision makers. So that's my thing. AI is just going to... You're just going to have more poor people. Hey, will AI flip burgers? That's my concern. Like poor people's gonna feel the brunt of it because you don't need them no more.
I mean, that there is definitely talking about a societal reckoning that we will have to have with the technology that we have, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a whole conversation in and of itself because there's so many aspects that you can.
It's a whole podcast, which we gotta have this one day.
It's a whole podcast, and I think that debate will need to be had. As we keep having instances where games use some AI versus games using,
all
whether
AI.
they use it here. Like we said, procedural generation, that's okay, right? That's the calculator days. That's basically like, hey, listen, give me the baseline, and then eventually that'll come into character creation. So, for example, even in Horizon Forbidden West, even with the hundreds of different kind of character models that they have, they do repeat some. And some are repeated in main quests, or not the main quest, but the actual side quests.
Yeah.
And everything like that.
In the cities, like exactly. Same thing. You're not gonna make 1,000 unique characters in a game. That's pretty pointless, especially if they have no play.
Except for the fact that the Unreal Engine 5, remember that was one of their things. They were supposed to give a library of like these are like they said like human face or something. Like that is a product suite that they are trying to offer the developers, right? But then those faces have to be made by someone, and I don't think they're going to just hire, 10,000, humans to just be like, okay, listen, you come in, you design 10 people, day in, day out, because we're trying to fill a library.
Yeah,
They're not. They're gonna be like, hey, we're gonna use AI and we're gonna offer it to you, and then you can take these characters and
one person could do all the work of 1,000.
Exactly.
And just create fleets of people.
Exactly. So when they come up with this library, yes, at the beginning it's going to be obviously, like you said, have human input, but then eventually the AI will get good enough to be like, they'll be like, hey, listen, if you work with Unreal Engine 6, you can have 1 million different NPCs that are all unique, and then you download those assets into your game, and then you dress them up for your world so that it's, tonally coherent with the rest of your vision, and then that's it, right? So now character designers are going to be less needed because what are you going to be changing? Oh, the clothes, or the way the lighting interacts, and
AI can easily do that. Yeah.
So that is definitely one way that procedural generation already crosses a line where I don't feel comfortable with it, and that's the thing. We'll all have to decide where we feel comfortable with what being used. Because for me, if you're designing, like a Days Gone 2, and you just have a city, you just have a biome that is again looking like the North Pacific, or Pacific Northwest, where you just have like all these pine trees. Like, I don't give a fuck if AI designed that. Like, I don't expect a person to go in and design, pine tree number 12,065 by hand. So that is definitely a thing where we all have to decide where our boundaries are. And I hope that this industry uses it way more for the maintenance role than it does for the creative role. I understand that some things have to be handed over. Some things have to be, computer assisted. But I hope that it stays in an assistant role. And even the part where you said, like, hey, I can run through this code and I can find out places where you fucked up. I hope they keep the actual person in that job so that person can actually improve his skills natively, so that we keep mixing, instead of having AI replace humans, AI augmenting humans' work and capacity to like do creative shit. That's what I want. But even in photography, you know, like I'm a photographer, and there's already AI photography out there. Like,
Ooh,
it
how's
bothers
that
me.
changing the
It
game?
truly bothers me. You know,
How is that changing the game for you?
I don't think it affects my business personally. Like, I'm too small a level to even really be into that. And the type of AI photography that they create is things that's more generic, whereas I work with clients individually, right? So a person's not going to be like, oh, AI generate myself. At least not yet. I mean, soon they will be able to, right? They'll be like, hey, I took 1,000 selfies of myself, place me in Paris. And then they will just have that photo done. You know?
There's going to be some fraud in.
Yeah, that is a concern, right? Because, like you said, if you feed it enough data, it's going to be good enough to eventually be able to do it. But yeah, there is AI, even in cameras. You know, people are like now trying to come up with a camera that will now tell you what composition you should have, and what it does is that it looks at your environment and it says, wait, you're in front of the Eiffel Tower. Most of the best sunset images or the highest rated ones on Flickr or Instagram are taken from this spot. Move the camera to the left or to the right. Good, you've got it in frame. Click shutter now. Like, and then it's like, okay, did you take that photo or did the camera take the photo? And
That's
you were just
that's the
camera
fine line,
to
because
stuff.
good point, because like, and this is like, I think right now one of the biggest things is colleges and universities, like, are students actually writing their paper, right? And now that like universities are using AI to try to catch AI,
Combat AI, yeah.
but then AI has ways to not detect AI. It was ridiculous, like going back and forth. So now they put in AI versus AI because university wants to make sure when you write a paper, you wrote the paper and AI didn't write it for you. And it's absolutely insane that ChatGPT, like, literally you could put a subject and stuff and it'll format and do everything for you and stuff like that. Absolutely insane as some of the things that's out there, right? So
And you know the most fucked up part?
Yeah.
Is that eventually AI will be able to tell that a human wrote it by the amount of imperfections and mistakes in it.
yes. Yes,
Like,
pretty
that
much.
would be the easiest way to detect a human work. Not
Yeah.
by how good you did, but how bad you did.
Yeah.
Because
And
if
then
you did too good, clearly you were.
yeah. And then the crazy part is AI will be like, well, I could purposely make mistakes to make it look like, it's a never ending battle. But you make a good point when it comes, and that's just, I use that as a school subject. But in your field, how can you tell the difference? No, I ain't gonna say how, because that's a question, who knows. But will AI get to the point where it can help a novice photographer look like an expert photographer simply because AI is telling it, no, do this, no, this level, no, this level, this position, a little higher, back this up, turn the lens, take the picture. And now you got a picture that looks no different than a person who's been doing photography for 20 years. And you went to school and you made this your art, you made this craft. And this motherfucker from Brooklyn, in just 1 hour, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you don't understand what I'm saying? Like, wouldn't that like hurt the actual skill of photography?
Like in certain Samsung phones, if you take a photo of the moon, because the moon is tidally locked to planet Earth, it can only show one face. So instead of showing you the picture that you took, it downloads the high resolution version from the internet and it places that in your shot. So you didn't take the photo of the moon in front of you. You took the photo that the AI downloaded and composited into your shot.
So let's say if you take like one of those dark, like let's say you're taking a picture of a forest at night and there's a nice beautiful moon and you take the picture and then the AI is like, you know what? That moon is corny. Let me give you the image of a moon from 25 years ago that only happens once every 200 years. And boom, updates your photo and the photo looks incredible.
And the thing is,
that's fucking ridiculous.
You might not even know it.
And you don't even know it did it.
Know that it did this. You might not even be able to choose, unless you know where to go in the settings to either disable it or choose different versions of it. Because they did it. I think it was Samsung and Huawei. They were both caught out for doing this, so that when you will use the telephoto lens, because people were like, wait a second, how are you getting a shot that looks better than like what people can get with telescopes? Like, but you're getting all this.
Why is your shit 26K on a 4K camera? Like, well, what is this?
So yeah,
like, how did you take a picture of a moonshot that only happens once every 1,000 years? Like, I don't know.
Yo, but the thing is, you cannot mess with these astronomers, man. These are the people who
They will
are going
know.
to be like, yeah, listen, at this time of year, it should be this cycle of the moon from this position. Look at the longitude and the latitude at which you were at. You could not possibly see this time.
Yeah, you
Bro,
cannot
they
possibly
are
take this photo.
insane.
Wow, that's incredible. But
They
but
are
that would be a little
insane.
disheartening because there's a little pride in your craft and creativity, and AI just completely made the average Joe like a pro photo guy. That must be so
Hey,
disheartening.
And also another thing that's a little bit less than that, but something that happens now is sky replacement. So even a lot of photographers these days, they use sky replacement. So you know how in a landscape photography, the sky is a huge part of how the photo turns out. So there are people that wake up at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., maybe they go day after day, they book a trip, they go all the way across the world because they want you to get this perfect scene. And some of them get lucky, but a lot of them don't because you can't really predict the weather from 2 months ago when you were booking your trip, right? So now you go and you take the photo and everything is perfect because the landscape doesn't change that much, right? It's not that dynamic, or it's a lot more predictable. You can predict the tide by looking at, when the tides come in or whatever. But then the sky isn't exactly what you want it to be. And now in Photoshop, you literally just highlight it. It's a true button click and you say replace the sky with sunset. And it does it. It blends it in for you, it composites it. And now you can sell it as that's the photo that you took. So you see, and the thing is, it's like, where is the line drawn? Technically, you did take the photo, and technically, people have always retouched photos in one way or the other.
Especially
where
with
do we decide, the entire sky, why
integrity.
is that too much? Exactly. If we're moving a post, like if there's a beer can in the photo, you are allowed to remove it. Most photographers won't complain. Why can't you replace the entire sky? Technically, if you want to be the most integral, right, you would have everything exactly as it is with as little changes made as possible. But no, now you can replace the entire sky, which is such a cheat. I hate it.
All right, that's a good entry. But like I said, hey, this conversation, you're right, that this will be a whole conversation podcast in of itself because there's just so many layers and stuff. But anyway, we're gonna get to the outro here. So it's only you because Craig left.
Alright, so listen guys, again, Podwork is shortchanging you. He put Indiana Jones in the title, we didn't talk about it, Suicide Squad
I did.
is coming on the 30th.
Did I put it in the title?
We didn't talk about it. These people, if you guys want him to shortchange you, hit that like button, get us to 250.
We're taking that out.
Extra for you.
I took it out, we're taking it out.
Suicide Squad is coming out on the 30th. I think that this game is pathetic and it's trash. And I've never seen so much effort put into something that is going to die immediately. But it might sell well, But,
I did like the Joker gameplay. That's the first time I saw anything positive. Because the character you can actually give a shit about. That's number one. Number two, it had cool movesets. Like the other four is just abysmal. The other four are just carbon copies of superhero. Oh look, I got an amulet where I can run like the Flash. All right. Oh, I got something now. I swing like Batman. Like, this is stupid. So all you did was you took superheroes' characters and they get to do it. Like, oh my God, the concept of the game is so fucking frustrating, bro. Like, Joker was the only one that was genuine out of anybody. A character that you can actually play, and he had these unique Joker movesets.
The funny thing, Paul, is that I agree with you that the Joker is the best character to put forward so far. And yet he actually, ironically, confirms my suspicions that this is a dog shit game. Because I'm sorry, but that version of the Joker is not the Joker, he's the Giggler. Like, I don't know where they got this discount Wish version of the Joker.
They got him from Wish.com. Oh, man.
Second, an umbrella? That's the Penguins thing. Where the fuck is this umbrella coming from? And I'm sorry, I saw that whole, he was skating on his umbrella, skating around, and I was just like, nah, I'm sorry, no. I can't take this game seriously. He flips an umbrella upside down and he skates on it. And I know it looks cool, but just for the tone of the game, I was like, bro. So it's funny that the thing that actually gets you interested just gets me more disinterested.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, how fun would he last, though? I saw it cool because it's a trailer. But I don't think I would enjoy it for like hours and hours. I think I'll get sick of it. Like the game is just, I'm not even gonna worry about that game. I'll just wait until the game fails, and then hopefully they don't shut down Rocksteady. Hopefully they give them another chance to make single player games. That's the best I could hope for. Please don't shut down Rocksteady. They should have never made games as a service. But hey, it is what it is. But anyway,
all right, people. Find me on Twitter. You'll love it there. Find me on YouTube.
Yeah, find them on YouTube. Yeah, that's it. Put up another video. You know, give them the fucking link.
I'll put the link.
Give them the fucking link.
Link. We didn't say that this podcast.
No.
We say that every podcast.
We're gonna make everybody give them the fucking link anyway. But anyway, hey, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thank you so much for rocking out. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. But for everybody overall, can you help me out? Hit the like, subscribe, and share it. And then I'll see you guys next week. And of course, just stay tuned for more videos throughout the week. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what craziness happens. Anyway, your only friend in these YouTube streets, grand opening, grand closing. And Xbox has no games. The Knicks are doing it. Like, what's happening? We actually winning. But hey, I'm going to stay reserved. I'm not going to go all Xbox and say we winning the championship. I'm going to just say my piece. I'm going to keep it easy. But something's happening with the Knicks, man. Like, there's some magic. But I'm going to keep it chill. I'm going to keep it cordial. We'll see what happens. Anyway, you guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for rocking out. And we're going to end the poll. The poll was, are you enjoying Palworlds? 80% said nah to the nah. And 19% say yes. Like, wait a minute. So where's the 1% at? The math ain't mathing. Okay.
Wait, are people enjoying it or not?
No, are you enjoying Palworlds? No, 80%. Yes, 19%. So 225 voted, 80% said no.
Oh, that last 1%, that like the bacteria that you can never get rid of.
Oh shit.
99.99%.
No. Oh, that's it. Nothing's absolute. Nothing's absolute.
Yeah, nothing's absolute.
Nothing absolute. All right. You guys take care. See you guys next week and enjoy the videos that'll be pushed out throughout the week. You guys take care. Peace. And that is it.